NUFC Early Night News with Gary the Geordie Yum Yum, Andrew Bokey, Christina Cage, and Derek the Mighty Wind. Weekdays from 8 p.m. UK, 2 p.m. USA. NUFC Talk.
Oh, look at that, a bit of jazzy in the background. I like it a lot. Let's see. I'm just going to skip that because that's driving me insane. Because you couldn't hear it, but I could hear it. Some advert on another TV was coming through my earphones, and I'm like, oh, bit of jazz? You couldn't hear it, so I don't know why I said it. Anyway, welcome one and all, NUFC Talk Radio, across the Northeast on DAB, like I say, a smart speaker, and hopefully very soon we'll have the mighty win. And he'll be joining us as always. But we have got the usual crew with me. Christina Tooney, we've got the Bokey, and myself, the Geordie Yum Yum. So welcome, one and all. Like I say, 3 things I could ask you to do. Subscribe, hit the like, and if you can, become a member is the most important thing. Because obviously that just supports us going forward. And if you would, and like I say, if you're interested, you could also ring that bell for us, because that will give you that 30-minute warning to say that we're going live. Always live, us lots, never edited, as you gather with what comes out of my mouth sometimes. It's pure rubbish. But I do love it. Anyway, let's start with my opener, and then we'll get into these two. As always, welcome back to the show, the only place where analysis Newcastle United requires tactical insight, emotional resilience, and the occasional therapist on standby. What a week it's been. We go to Stamford Bridge, beat Chelsea 1-0, climb the table, and now we're off to Barcelona like it's a relaxed little city break. Perfect preparation. 3 points in London, then a flight, a hotel, and a tactical meeting somewhere between baggage claim and lukewarm sandwich. Eddie Howe's picking up honours. Tino Livermento's back like a new signing. And half of Europe's is sniffing around Bruno again. So yeah, calm, normal week. Let's get into it. Team, how are we this Tuesday evening? Are we good? Good.
Absolutely fantastic. Couldn't be better.
Excellent. Like I say, it's going to be mainly focused on yesterday's game, tomorrow's game. Back to the future. Here we go.
If it's yesterday to you, did we win?
No. Anyway,
swiftly moving on to Sunday's game then.
Yeah, I got absolutely annihilated at the PS. It's something I don't play, and I was asked to have a game, and the other team was Barca and I was Newcastle. And unfortunately, I got hammered because I've never played the bloody game. But anyway, I don't think it'll be. Yeah, exactly. I'm sure there's lots of people out there that would have hammered us. So let's start. Like I say, we beat the Chelsea game, and again, there's lots of positives from that. There's been some really good talking points. There's a big one against Tino Livermento, and how important Tino has been to balance the team back up. And again, I was watching some of the highlights through a lot of social media stuff post our conversation yesterday, just to try and get a little bit of an emphasis on what was going on. And it was really interesting to listen to the likes of Jamie Carragher and Thierry Henry analyse post-match performance and the way Chelsea set up against us. And it was particularly interesting, the fact that when we were on the right-hand side, our left-hand side, which is our strongest, Chelsea went to a back 4. But as soon as we went to the right back type of situation with the ball, they went to a 3 at the back, which pushed Cucurella forward. And the imbalance come from when Murphy dropped in to support Malik Chow, which left Tino Livermento. And usually what was happening was Tino Livermento was Cucurella's man. So when the ball drifted to Malik Chow, straight away Cucurella wanted to go because he was the one that was tasked to run against the right back. But we hadn't really got a right back. We got Murphy that had dropped into that hollow. And Tino then just guided himself into the middle 6 position. Isn't it funny how sometimes, we talk about tactics, and I know you guys probably aren't really that keen on tactical situations and stuff like that. That's where my bread and butter is, if you like. So I was listening to what these guys were saying, and I started to watch the game over for what they were saying, to try and highlight certain positions and what they were trying to achieve. And it was, you know, the one thing that came out of it, and I think Newcastle have been very, very guilty of it themselves this season. Hence, probably why we haven't had a lot of great results. But it was certain points where Tino Livermento comes away from his natural position and goes central. Then all of a sudden, there's a talking point from the players, Chelsea players. They're looking at Rosinha on the bench to give them some direction. Rosinha obviously turns his back. He's not interested because all of a sudden there's been a change of emphasis, a change of setup from Newcastle. Chelsea hadn't got a clue what to do. They really did struggle with that part of the game. And then all of a sudden, like I said, it got me interested in what Newcastle have been approaching this season. You know, Eddie Howe has this perfect way of stating the fact he sets up the team for that next game. Depending on who it is, it doesn't matter who it is, he will try and tweak certain parts of his tactical analysis, if you like, to the game that's coming forward. I think the biggest problem with Newcastle at the minute has been when something different on the opposition happens, Newcastle haven't got an answer for it. There seems to be a lack of direction from Bruno, who's the captain, or Trippier, who's been captain. There seems to have been a little bit of lack of direction from the playing staff. And again, you know, we know Eddie Howe isn't really the dictator from the side. He'll talk and everything else, but there hasn't been that particular guidance from Newcastle. I don't know what you guys think of the information that I've just given you there. Was it something that you guys picked up during the game? Did you notice anything like that during the game against Chelsea?
I didn't actually notice it, to be honest with you. I noticed that we definitely overran them in areas, and Tino was very instrumental. Like I say, that game completely ramped up my opinion of Tino Livermento. I didn't see a lot from Messina. I probably should have watched him a bit more with him being a bit of a new manager in that role still. Last time we played against Chelsea, there was a lot of talk about the in-game management that happened in the match and how the coach they had at that point changed things up in the second half. So maybe I should have probably paid a bit more attention to Liam with him being in that position and us having us having the goal lead. But to be honest, I can't say I did mention it. I don't know if Boki did.
Not really, to be perfectly honest. I noticed that we were it looked a lot more comfortable at the back. It looked like a unit at the back, which I think hasn't really been the case for a lot of weeks. And I think that's maybe what you're saying, Gary, is that they were playing the game in a way that helped Newcastle. So they had the tactics that what they were going to do, and it was working. There was never panic at the back. You know, we were sitting watching the game, and it was very, 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 very calm. There was no sort of minutes where you thought, we're getting overrun here. And that could very well be down to what you're saying in regards to, if you play Murphy on the right wing, you know what you're getting. You're getting a grafter. And he will cover his defensive duties. So from everything you've said there, it makes complete sense in regards to, it made us look comfortable at the back. And part of that was down to the fact that the tactics were right on the day.
Yeah, exactly. Go on, mate. No, go on.
I was just going to say it. It's interesting that you get that from Murphy, because I think a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, but there are certain pockets of the fans who do hang their head a little bit when Murphy plays, and they talk about Murphy being one of the players that we need to upgrade on in the summer. But it's funny that you should mention, like, in what really won us the game against Chelsea, how integral Murphy was in that, potentially pulling Cucurella out of keeping an eye on Tino Livermento. And I think there is probably a lot of aspects to Murphy's game that some people do miss. Like Boki's just mentioned, his work rate. I think defensively or in a wing back position, I think Murphy's got a lot of qualities there that people don't really notice. A lot of people just see that he puts in 500 crosses a season, and we haven't scored a lot of goals from crosses. So I think it is certainly something that I'm glad that we've highlighted.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know whether that was part and parcel of the tactic from Eddie Howe. If it's something, when they had that little water break because of the fasting situation, so everybody was able just to come off the field. I don't know whether it was something that Eddie Howe and Tyndall had spotted and just made that slight adjustment, just to see how it would work if somebody was going to be willing to follow from. Because really speaking, if you think it, I think it was Chalobah. Once Cucurella had come out to the left-hand side, I think it was Chalobah should have literally dropped in, because that's what he was tasked to do previously when they become a three at the back. Chalobah would come out to the left-hand side, and then you'd get the lads Fofana and I can't think of the other lad's name now, it's gone out of my head, but they'd stay as a three with Cucurella being the one tasked to go forward. And like I say, sometimes, again, I don't know whether it was luck, or whether it was described by Eddie Howe to say, let's try it and see what happens. But it worked. And like I say, it's certain, like I said, small margins sometimes can win you the game, and it certainly was that. I mean, at the end of the day, and I'm hoping, with everything that we've said and seen so far, I'm hoping that can stem us for the big tide coming our way. It's already 1-0, by the way, to PSG.
I was literally about to mention the Chelsea game. I didn't know if you were going to pick up on it. But okay, would you like to give Eddie Howe any credit for how he handled that in-game management against Chelsea at the weekend?
No. I've never said that Eddie Howe's a bad manager. I've always said that I think he's hit his level. I think he's hit his level, and there's not much more we can do here. But will he get things right at times? Of course he will. If you roll the dice a million times, you're going to get a double six once in a while. But am I going to give him stand out and give him credit for this season? No.
Technically speaking, if you roll dice, you can't get a double six. You can only get a double six if you roll die, which is the plural for dice. But anyway, Gabby, what's your next point? I love that I just got that in against Borky. I'm going to hold it over him for so many shows, you have no idea.
There were dice because I threw one from each hand.
Oh, isn't that die?
That's not how that works. Don't try to bamboozle me live on radio.
I had a dice in that hand and I had a dice in that hand. So I threw dice, not dice.
Oh, there you go. So talk about Eddie Howe then. Let's talk about him. Obviously, he's been given the freedom of City of Newcastle. Not bad for a year's work. Or is it a few years' work? Some people will question
4 years, to be fair.
So what do you think then? Where does Howe rank amongst Newcastle managers historically now? I mean, I'm not going to go back too far because obviously we know the 50s that it's going to be hard to beat those FA Cup winning managers and things like that. Football was so different back then. And as you've just said there, has he already overachieved with this squad and met his ceiling? That's probably an interesting point to even discuss. So where do you think he ranks amongst the Newcastle managers, Tina?
I think when we talk about Newcastle managers, certainly in a time scale, like you've said, that I've had enough time to go back and look into, I think as far as I've managed to go back, does begin with like Kevin Keegan. And since then, if you look at it, the two managers that people look at with the biggest respect is Kevin Keegan himself, who I've always said has been the catalyst of the fact that Newcastle United are the giants that we are today, even if we're still considered sleeping giants by some. And of course, Bobby Robson, who was he was about like the godfather of Newcastle, wasn't he? Outside of that, Pardew had a good couple of years. He kind of, started sniffing around Europe a little bit, and I know things didn't really end well with him, but looking back at his actual managerial career with us, there were definitely some high points. But I would say Eddie Howe's got to be in that discussion in with like Keegan and Bobby Robson, and it's probably not fair to because technically speaking he's been more successful because he won a trophy, qualified for a Champions League last 16, which and we've had European football with those like with Bobby Robson, for example. We have just been joined, however, by the mighty win.
Indeed.
Which is always fantastic.
At
fantastic to see in here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, just
do I understand you may be discussing the 1, 2, 3 of greatest managers of all time?
Well, not 1, 2, 3. It was just like where Eddie Howe stands now. He's been given the freedom of Newcastle.
There's been a video out today, though.
I haven't seen that.
There's been a video out today, and he's third.
Of all
that's
time?
funny enough.
At Newcastle.
Yeah, of all time.
Yeah, third of all
Oh,
time.
right. Wow.
I mean,
Keegan's,
I also.
Keegan's second, and Bobby Robson first.
Bobby Robson. Yeah, I thought I was going to say War Bobby. I don't know why.
You know, it's lunacy.
For me.
Yeah. I mean, like I say, I admired the bloke. Totally admired the bloke
Yeah.
for being a gentleman. But I mean, like I say, he didn't win us anything, did he? I mean, Keegan was closer. But again, when you think of all time, you've got to think of the 50s when we were back-to-back winners with the FA Cup and God knows what, and didn't even get a mention.
That's right.
To be fair,
Crazy.
Bobby
You're
Robson.
talking
though-
to
Well, they
late.
didn't have managers then, to be honest.
No,
They did
exactly.
towards the end.
The end, yeah.
Talking to my lifetime, sort of, I remember sort of Ozzy Ordealers before Keegan. Was it Arthur Cox was manager?
Oh, that Cox,
He was-
Jackie Charlton.
He was when I was really young. I mean, in regards to that era, you've got to say, if you're being honest, the most successful manager's been Howe. The manager
Without
who
doubt.
has brought success to the club is Howe. Other managers have succeeded in other ways, but if you put this simply down to success, it's Howe at the top, isn't it?
It should be, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Well,
it should be.
Well, anyway.
News again, just goal alert. PSG now 2-0 up against Chelsea.
Oh, no.
Let's get that violin.
Oh no,
going.
wait, that is
Come
a
on.
good thing. Yeah, no, I've supported PSG for that. No, that's a good thing. But can I just quickly defend Bobby Robson there, because there's a lot of people talking about that it was ludicrous that he's in that conversation with Keegan and Howe. About in the top three was where I was going to put Howe, by the way. Can I just say though, Bobby Robson, he didn't follow on directly from Keegan. There was like there was a dip. After
Hiatus.
Keegan and Bobby Robson was the one who pulled us back up and made us a
He
good
did.
team again with these young guns. We had that celebration of all doing of silencing the critics with the young guns, Shola Amiobi and Dyer and Ginas and Bell. Like, we had he did put back together a fantastic squad at Newcastle United and definitely brought some much needed pride back to this city. So I'll definitely not have his name sullied.
No,
Bobby
you're
Robson
right.
did have good players already. Keegan
Oh.
brought up from the second division. He got into the Premier League. So his achievements were bigger than Bobby Robson's, and Howe's achievements are bigger than Bobby Robson's because he won World Cup. I think a lot of what Bobby Robson's thing is, as you say, he's a gentleman. He had a fantastic career with other clubs. With us, was he a massive success? Yes, he got to a point, but he wasn't as successful. He would be third in my list out of them three. It would be, for me, it would be Keegan, obviously, Howe, and then Robson.
I could give you that. I think it's always going to be those three, though, isn't it? Because I mean, you
Yeah.
can't really put like Dalglish, McLaren, Kinya, like
I
all
think
these
you
other
can put
names.
Joe Harvey there.
I was going to say that. I'm surprised nobody mentioned Joe, because I would have definitely
I
mentioned
think
Joe.
it's because we're too young to remember them.
Oh, right, okay. That's fair enough. Steely's saying Keegan saved the team from going into League 3, remember, and got our fan base back up after dropping to 15,000. Wouldn't be here if it wasn't not for Keegan.
Well,
I 100% agree with that.
I think that what you have to do as well is look at each manager and their skills. Keegan was a motivator. He was, he brought passion. He brought, he pulled everyone together. He had everyone fighting forward. Whereas Eddie Howe's a lot more reserved. Eddie's more of the tactician. He's the guy that'll sit down and watch game after game. I couldn't imagine Keegan sitting down watching mountains of games, mountains of before we played a game. He would just rely on, pure passion from him and his squad of players to go out and win the game. Whereas Eddie, it'll drum into them a lot more. This is the tactics of the game. So I think each manager's got a different style and different plus and minus points.
The only thing I would say to you there, Bokey, is if you talk about in-game management, if you talk to any of the players that were there back in the day, there was no coaching or game management at all. It was just get yourselves on the pitch and have a ball.
Yeah.
That was his style. That was that, and the players obviously reacted to that because we played well. We did really well in games. So it's a style of management, and it's different, Eddie. It's completely different, and that's maybe why I don't like Eddie as much, because I remember that passionate style, and that's what I want to see.
Well, that's actually Eddie's style as well. The press.
Not. No, but the passion's not there with Eddie Howe. You cannot sit here and say that Eddie Howe's got the passion that Keegan had when he was talking about football.
I don't think personality-wise, I don't think he has that
Personality,
personality.
If you're talking about personality,
He hasn't got it.
that's
But
one clear winner.
I certainly think he brings. I think he brings passion from the crowd with the style of football that he brings. Just some interesting news breaking, if you want, or anybody's interested. Man City are down to 10 men. Bernard Silva being red carded for handball, stopping a goal on the line, and it's a penalty to Real Madrid. Oh no! So
was that your impression of me?
Yeah, it was.
Be impressed.
Yeah.
Genuinely
Oh
sounded like
I tell you.
Our coefficient is going down the tube then.
Absolutely, that's what the words out of my mouth. Diddling. There you go. The coefficiency that we were all reliant on has now suddenly collapsed.
I've just got
two.
Thank God for that. Can we please burn that PowerPoint presentation in about coefficiency and forget all about it? If it's gone, it's gone. Great.
You're not bothered about Newcastle getting in the Champions League next season?
I'm not bothered about a presentation about other European teams having to do things for Newcastle to get into Europe. No. If we're going to get there, we should get there on more merit.
Which means you're not bothered. Well, yeah, getting fifth and getting the coefficient up. That is all on merit. It's on the merit of the other English team.
It's on the merit of the other. Well, exactly. You've just said it's not on Newcastle United's merit.
So you wouldn't be bothered then if England lost that fifth European Cup spot, Champions League spot.
I don't think we should be relying on it. I don't think we should be sitting
Why?
Focus.
Why? When we are where we
rely on it because we shouldn't rely on other teams. With Newcastle United, we should only rely on Newcastle United to get where we want to be.
Yeah, but the fact is that we are competing in a league where at least 4 of those teams, by any yardstick, are better than us. At least 4 of them. Probably 5, maybe even 6 are better than us. So surely any advantage we can gain by virtue of the fact that they are that good, that they get the coefficient up, should be celebrated and not poo-pooed.
I'm not poo-pooed. I'm just simply saying that, we shouldn't rely on other teams and we shouldn't be going down a route of looking at other teams. And you've just said...
Why not? Because they are the teams that are preventing us getting into the Champions League.
You said there's 6, 5, 4... and then you went 6 or 5 teams better than we. The big problem is we're sitting 9th. So it's nothing to do with the coefficient. It's down to
the minute,
we're feeling this season. I'm saying our position is not down to other European English teams. Our position's down to the way Newcastle United have played this season.
No, but come the end of the season, it could be down to that.
We're not good enough to get Europe this season, no matter what the cohort is or however you want to look at it. It's down to Newcastle United. It's not down to those other teams.
It's exactly down to that, because depending on where we finish and depending on the coefficient, that's how low down the Premier League you go to get into Europe.
So in which case, why do we come on every night and discuss football at league level? We may as well just say, can't discuss anything league level until the end of the season. We're in 9th place.
Quite a short show.
We're not good enough to be any higher at this point. So whatever happens in Europe at this point doesn't actually matter.
Again, I would disagree with that. I think we are good enough to be higher. The XG proves that.
Oh,
and
God.
the XG is coming home to roost now.
Win. Don't use stats. Use your eyes. Use results. We're 9th.
I'm using my eyes. I'm using my results. I'm using the fact that, for example, with Tino and all back...
No. If it's after 5 games, you can use this as an excuse. You cannot use this as an excuse after 29, 30 games. We are where we deserve to be.
Well, I'm not going to dispute that.
Why are you using XG?
Of course we are where we deserve to be.
There is something that you are both
XG
overlooking.
proves that we're actually underperforming, which is very unusual for us. Because hitherto we've always overperformed.
Which makes it worse, in which case, it makes your argument worse in that we should be doing better and we're not.
You absolutely should be. And the reason that we're not is for the reasons that have been well documented in terms of not having what key players available.
No win. Give it in regards to that. Then you're talking about XG, so you expected goals, yeah. So it doesn't make any difference that we've had injured players. Doesn't make any difference we didn't have a striker at the start of the season. We still should have scored more goals. If you're using XG, we're failing on that as well because we're not scoring as many goals as we should be doing.
Correct.
So you're using an argument that actually contradicts what you're saying.
How am I doing that exactly?
Because Newcastle United's XG means we should have scored more goals this season, yeah?
Correct.
We should have. So we failed because we haven't scored those goals that we should have scored. And that's not down. You can't use the players on the pitch, and you can't use the fact we didn't have a striker for that. Our expected goals are still higher than what they were.
Hang on, you can't use the. We're creating the chances, and we're not putting them away, and you can't blame the players on the pitch.
Well, no, because you're just using stats. So if you're just using an XG, you can't blame the players on the pitch. What you've got to say is we're failing throughout because we're not scoring the goals we should be scoring.
No, but we're creating the opportunities to score the goals.
Instead, if we're going down this route, if you're going down just looking at stats and everything like that, we may as well just go and play PlayStation, you know. We should just all go and sit and play.
I'm rubbish, mate. I'm rubbish.
Yep. Instead, what we should be doing is just watching the matches.
But
all where we deserve to be.
Because we're in the real world, the results that we've achieved have left us where we are right now.
Well, that's exactly what I started this conversation
And where
with.
we are right now is whatever. I haven't got the league table up in front of us. 6 points off. 6 points off fifth.
Yeah,
6 points off fifth.
Ninth
But
position.
crucially, I think maybe 9 points off fourth.
Right.
Possibly.
So this is all just proving
I'm
that
going
we're
to be
feeling.
stuck, lady. I'm going to look this up for you.
So therefore, that fifth Champions League place could be crucial because we're only 6 points off that. In terms of the club's progress and growth, that fifth place and Champions League money could be absolutely crucial to Newcastle's development. And you're saying it doesn't matter.
No, what I'm saying is that we shouldn't be relying on other clubs to get Newcastle United to where we want to be. Newcastle United.
You expect us to be top four.
Newcastle United should be looking after Newcastle United.
You expect us to be top
fifth.
four every season.
I'm not saying that.
I mean,
What are you saying?
What I'm saying is rely on your own form. It doesn't matter at this point. It doesn't make any it doesn't make any difference what we're talking about here. We're not in fifth place. We're nowhere near fifth place.
No, but we're only 6 points off it.
But we've only got what?
That's 2 wins.
No,
8 games.
We're 7 points off, and we've got 8 games left. What makes you think that all of a sudden we're going to go on this massive run and everybody around
I
us is
don't
going
think
to
we
go
are 7
into
points
free
off,
fall?
by the way.
Yeah, I think it's more like 8, isn't it? Something like that.
No.
Listen, can I just ask? I mean, listen, there's no
What's
defending.
7 I've got the
It's 7.
football
7
table?
points. There you
7
go.
off
There you
7
go.
off fifth.
Yeah, 7 off fifth. There you go. So there's an
Sometimes
outside
I'm
chance.
right.
Yeah, you are. Listen, I think that, there's no getting away that the fact that Newcastle losing 19 points from winning positions hasn't really supported the cause at all, and there's an argument either side of it, has it? So that's what I'm saying. As it being the fact that the squad isn't good enough as we think, players just haven't turned up, and across all of the competitions that Eddie Howe is trying to obviously have another key to the door. He's not succeeded, and like I say, something has failed and failed terribly. I mean, Chris in the chat there saying, why are we arguing? We haven't turned up until week 28. And I suppose in a sense you've got to say you're absolutely spot on. It does get frustrating. But listen,
that's not strictly true because we have had a couple of periods throughout when we thought, oh right, that's the corner turn.
Yeah, but we haven't been consistent, have we?
I'm saying this time, have we finally turned the corner this time? Because we're doing it without Bruno, with a different system that's been successful now for a period of games. have we actually turned the corner now? Could this be the moment? Because if we have, the fixtures that we've got for the rest of the season are very, very...
But win.
On the face of it.
We've said this all season. It hasn't happened. And, there's nothing that's happened this season that's telling you we have turned the corner. We have had good wins at times. And then
Lots of things have happened that thought we might have turned the corner.
Right, here we go.
I'm still my dad.
Yeah, just say pending other results and good luck. There you go. And I think that is exactly where we are. We are reliant on other teams now doing us favours. And like I said, there's an argument either side, and I understand that. But I think we are at that point of moving on. Let's
You
say.
all are missing one little
Cheers,
point,
Sean.
though. If we win the Champions League, we don't even have to finish in the top 5. So you see,
Correct.
all we have to do is win the Champions League. You're overlooking the simple solution here.
Right, and
Gary doesn't look convinced.
yeah.
We'll have this discussion on Thursday, and I hope you can absolutely beat me down to a pulp and say that you guys are right completely on that.
I mean, it's like
It's only
listen.
me that said we're going to win the Champions League.
Yeah.
Nobody else has said that.
I mean, you've only got to look at what's happened at Sporting.
I'm not
haven't
saying
you?
we're going to, but I'm certainly saying and have always said we could.
I mean, it is interesting to think that teams can turn things around. I mean, Sporting have beat Bodo Glimt 5-3 on aggregate, winning 5-0 tonight. And things. Everybody thought that Bodo Glimt was going to walk this, being 3 goals up. It's very difficult to come from 3 goals down and to win a game. But Sporting have just literally put their heads down and gone for it, and they've got the results. But there's been. I'm going to move on to something totally different because there's been some interesting discussion, if you like, about Bruno Guimaraes. Manchester United apparently are circling, and there's been an £80 million that's been mentioned coming from Old Trafford. Is Bruno untouchable? Is the question I want to ask you, or does every player have a price? I mean, you got to think of his age now, and how big a loss would he be tactically if he left the club? I mean, £80 million, if that's what they offer for me to sell, I wouldn't even consider anything else for that price, for that age. But what's your thoughts?
There is no chance at all we should even engage in any discussions about selling Bruno. He's the heartbeat of this club at the minute. He's our captain. He's been absolutely fantastic for us. Yes, he's getting a little bit older, but he's still at prime age. He's only 29, coming up to 30s next year. In my view, he's the one player at this club that is untouchable. He's, as I say, he makes it tick. He makes it on the pitch. You realise how much we're missing when he's not there. There is absolutely no chance Bruno should go anywhere. In fact, there's no chance Bruno should go anywhere until he gets to the end of his career. Maybe he wants to go for a season back at Brazil or something like that. But that lad needs to see his career out here. It needs to be the one player that we do keep hold of, who will constantly build teams around or is part of this team and part of this squad.
That's an interesting one. What's your thoughts, Win? I can't hear you. I can't hear you, Win.
Tina, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, go on.
So just while we're waiting for that, there is a comment in chat saying good clubs don't sell their best players. That's not entirely true. I've seen Wenger and Ferguson in the past sell top players at their prime. When it comes to Bruno Guimaraes, though, I agree with Bogey 100%. I don't think we should even entertain selling him. I don't think he'd want to leave. I especially don't think he would want to go to Manchester United. 80 million, I think, is an insult. I wouldn't sell them a signed Bruno Guimaraes match-worn T-shirt for 80 million. I think if you just want to come in for a player of the quality of Bruno Guimaraes, you're going to have to be talking at least double what Liverpool played for. What did you call that player who used to be good but now hasn't scored any goals all season? It begins with Isak, doesn't it? What's his name? That's it, Isak.
Begins with rat.
I was waiting for somebody to make a joke. I left it open for years and only win with a tap in there. But yeah, I mean, Bruno Guimaraes loves this club. He's travelling out of Barcelona now just to be with the team and with the fans and be a bit of a spiritual guru, if you want. and he's absolutely committed to everything Newcastle. Why would he give that up to go to a team, you know, in Manchester who have no real passionate identity anymore at the moment? They're very up and down. Their boardroom is, you know, forever making faux pas. I don't think Manchester fits him. I don't think there is another club in England that fits him as well as we do. So for once, me and Boki are 100% in agreement with each other.
Win.
And I echo those sentiments wholeheartedly and fulsomely, except with the proviso that if Bruno has decided that he would like to try pastures new, wherever that may be, then we'll get what we can, which would be, as Tina said, a damn sight more than 80 million as far as I'm concerned. Selling him in his prime, it would have to be more than 80 million. But if he wanted to go, and same with any player, we cannot afford to have another Isaac Saga, where we're trying to persuade him to stay when effectively he's already made his mind up that he wants to leave. Do I think that's the case? Not a chance. So that's the only proviso.
So according to Sport Witness and ESPN Brazil, Newcastle could be open to selling star midfielder Bruno Guimaraes this summer. Guimaraes' current contract with Newcastle runs until June 28. The agreement also contains a possibility of a 1-year extension. So
I would like to know, when they say the club are open, I would like them to name names and say who has said at Newcastle United, which member of staff at Newcastle United of any influence has said they would be open to an offer at 80 million.
Sometimes these websites and journalists, you know, it's funny how Bruno's just come back to England and all of a sudden these stories start coming out. It's sort of just, they've probably been lying in bed and then someone said, oh, Bruno's travelling back to the UK, and they've thought, oh, I could probably do a story on Bruno this week. You know, and club sources and all that, so when say is a little rubbish. There's, unless they name the sources, then, you know, the source could be the cleaning lady who does level 7, you know, on a week, or sorry, the cleaning person who does level 7 on a Saturday afternoon. So, you know,
check your privilege, Boki.
I did very quickly there. But you know, it could, a club source could be anything. Club source could be that you've sat and looked at a bottle of Heinz, say, tomato ketchup, and you've thought to yourself, oh, Bruno might leave, and the source is in my hand from the club, so it must be true.
Oh, man, you've stolen me next joke that I was literally about to come up with there.
I was going to say, yeah, Bruno in red is the closest source you'll get. Listen, I mean, we can only report what's out there. I understand all the comments. I mean, like I said, for me, I think you can look at loyalty, you can look at passion, you can look at everything, but every player has a price. And if you're going to go out there, I mean, listen, Bruno's stats are good, but there's players out there with better stats that are currently playing in lesser teams. So, you know, I'm not going to mention names, but, you know, for £80 million in the bank, there ain't that much more of a jump before you can land such a player. That's if he's willing to come back, obviously.
Just to reiterate something that Boki just said before, though, it's not always stats that matter on a football pitch. Sometimes it's pure passion. And you find me a player in the world football who has more passion than Bruno Guimaraes. The man celebrates putting a tackle in for Newcastle like he's just scored the winning goal in the World Cup. Like that
so does Murphy. So does Dan Burn.
Well, exactly, but I mean, at the end of the, that's why I would keep Murphy and Dan Burn.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And to be fair, how have Newcastle done since he's not been in the team?
To be fair, we're doing a lot better, but I'm not holding that on Bruno. That's one of other factors.
All I'm saying to you is sometimes loyalty and, you know, this romance that you get from fans towards players, if it was the other way around, as we've seen, as Wynn's mentioned regarding the Isaac scenario, you know, when they want out, mate, they'll make it really awkward for the club, as we've seen. It's not individually, they'll make it awkward for the club. But I agree. I'm not saying Bruno will. But I'm saying when it becomes a player situation, then the shoe is always on the other foot. It's just interesting to watch this space with Bruno and see what goes on. While we're talking about transfers, then let's have a quick rummage, if you like, in the rumours, because like I say, we're already in March.
I like the rumour from 19 Steely 86 in the chat that's saying Anderson when he comes back.
Yeah.
I would definitely not bark at that one. I'd love to see Elliot Anderson back in Newcastle. Elliot, if you're listening on the radio, wherever you are, come back home. Come back home, lad.
Exactly. Well, like I said, I think it would only be wages that stopped it. I don't think... You talk about passion.
I'll put a tenner per week in. I'll help where I can.
Newcastle are looking at young Portuguese, it's Porto's 18-year-old, Rodrigo Moura, according to reports. Arsenal and Manchester City are also looking at this young lad. Is an interesting character, I must admit. Attacking midfielder, 80 million euros they're looking at accepting for him. Again, one of... Manchester City have just equalised Haaland. 1-1 now against Real Madrid. Newcastle
just to put that in
Porto's 18.
perspective, Arsenal are considering paying £80 million for an unproven 18-year-old from Porto.
Yeah.
And we're talking about accepting £80 million for Bruno in his prime, the best midfielder that I've seen in my lifetime.
Yeah, the math doesn't math, does it? The math ain't mathing.
Does not math indeed.
So according to your prime, it's 29 is your finale. Bruno's not graced with any pace. He's not really graced with a lot of things. If you think about it, he's just pure pride and passion. And he worked.
Oh, we in this episode that Gary's got it absolutely out for Bruno Guimaraes.
No, not at all.
Gary would slightly help him though that he hasn't got the pace. I understand what you're saying. He's never been a fast player. He's never going to be a fast player. So
that's one thing he ain't going to lose.
The pace. Yeah.
How many times then have you guys and hear me out now? How many times have you guys said, "Oh, not there, Bruno"? Can you count?
I mean,
yeah, as in when he's trying to take players on the edge of his own penalty box and he falls over. Yeah, how many times? Yeah, seriously, and that's what I'm saying. No, get out of here! I bet you have to use 2 fingers. Well, at least 2 fingers. No, listen, I'm being serious. The lad has got faults. I'm saying he's a brilliant player. I love him to bits, but he's not a worldie. He certainly isn't. One of those players that you'd put on a pedestal. Not in my eyes, anyway. But he's better out there. And that's what I said. He is limited on certain things that he can do, Bruno. Pride and passion and everything else comes with the club. That is whether a player wants to play before you or whether they don't. Isak played for himself. Isak used Newcastle as a stepping stone. You could see that during the games where sometimes if he didn't want to turn up, his hand was on his hips. He didn't want to be involved. Bruno's not that type of mentality. He has got that pride and passion, but sometimes he has limitations. And I'm just saying, for £80 million at 28 years old, 1 year left in your prime, do you not take it? Would you not be really considering the option? That's all I'm saying. No, okay.
Bruno, if you're listening, don't listen to Gary. He doesn't speak for anybody else here. We love you. We want you to stay. Have as many years on your contract as you want. Yeah,
absolutely. I totally agree with that one. So yeah, he's been, as you say, like 80 million euros. So it'll be around about what, 72 million pounds, somewhere around that. He's a midfielder, could emerge during the summer. Moura joined Porto in 24, and he's under contract till 2030, 25-26 League of Portugal season.
They're talking about 90 million for Anderson, man.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I'm saying, Win. You're talking about 90 million, and Anderson's stats outweighs Bruno's stats. So tell me, he's got pace. He plays in the six.
Get someone looking that.
Yeah. He's not. You've got me. So
I want a second opinion.
Well, fair enough. But that's what I'm saying.
Backs up my bias, not yours.
If you're literally just going to look at stats alone, then stats. He outplays majority of midfielders in the Premier League, if not all of them in certain stats. So, like I said, £80 million, you've only got to pay another 10 million to get Elliot Anderson back. Talk about pride and passion. I I know what I'd want my money.
But I don't think you can do that, Gary, in regards to when you look at stats and players. The likes of an Anderson will be defending a lot more than a Bruno, so he'll look a lot more like he's getting more tackles in because he's defending a lot more, and he look like he's getting chances a lot more simply down to the fact that he's like one of the focal points of that team. He's the big player. He pushes forward. So again, you use stats, but they're dangerous things to use because, especially comparing players from other teams, because they have different games and they have different styles of play.
As we've seen with Wissam and Alanga this season so far.
If Bruno was 26, I would be in exactly the same vein as you guys. I wouldn't sell him. But he's not. He's 28. And like I said, we're not a sellable club. And I don't want us to become a sellable club. But sometimes when the money's right at the right age, you have to start moving these said players on, because there's going to come a time where they become non-sellable assets and they're with us until they're on crutches. We've seen it. We can't carry on being that type of club, nor if we want to compete at the top tier of domestic football and European football. It's just the way football is today. You know, you just have to become, you know, at the right time, you just have to move players on. But again, we have to be a Brighton when it comes to that, because we always have to have a replacement coming the other way. And that's why due diligence has to be done on that next player coming the other way. So whichever way you look at it, I just think it would be an absolute, for me, going forward, it would be a good one. Baris Alpa Yilmaz, which will interest a lot of people, according to Fanatic, is another one that has been exciting Newcastle. Scouting team has been watching Yilmaz live at Anfield during the Champions League round of 16 with Liverpool. The club has been in contact with the player's manager for some time and will follow him until the end of the season. So there you go. We know there's been interest with him, and apparently they are scouting him while he's playing against Liverpool. Alan, again, we talk about another name that's been on the books and on the cards for some time, but there was one young lad that seems to be, the name seems to be going literally viral as we speak now, and that's Sayed El Mala. This is a young lad from Build, well, according to Build, I should say. Chelsea, Newcastle and Brighton are increasing their efforts to get Sayed El Mala. He's playing at FC Köln and he's a 19-year-old player. And the question I was going to ask, the one I was going to ask you guys, you know, we talk about Eddie Howe not really looking at young players. They have to be very good talent, the Louis Halls, Tino Livermentos, to actually for how to look at them. So are Newcastle finally shopping in that elite young talent market now? Again, these are only rumours. There's nothing there until they come through the door. But there's a lot of weight comes through or behind some of these names that I'm being mentioning today.
I mean, it would be nice to... Oh, sorry, go on.
I don't see it at this point. I don't see the point of bringing in young players if Eddie's not going to give them a chance. I think it has to be a discussion higher up at the club that, look, we are going to be buying in young players, but they have to be given the chance in the first team. And it's a really hard one to do because you would hope a manager would want to do that anyway, but Eddie seems very, very reluctant to do it. And you don't want the director of football or anybody above Eddie picking the actual team. But he has to be told, you know, we're buying these players in, they have to be used. You know, we're not going to be buying all Premier League players for you. You know, you've got a big say in what we're going to buy, and you can sit and watch them, but it's on the premise that you have to play them as well. You can't just stick where you tried and tested, and if somebody goes wrong, try to keep a 36-year-old Trippier or a 35-year-old Shaw in your squad so that you can bring them in. You've got to give the youth a chance, because otherwise it's pointless going down that route. And to be honest, if you won't, then that's the breaking point, isn't it? You have to say it to them, look, you know, if you're not going to give anybody a chance, you're gone.
But I think it comes down to the quality of the youth, though, doesn't it? I mean, a lot of the people who are saying, oh, well, Eddie doesn't give youth a chance, they're talking about a youth team that's 22nd in the second tier of under 21 football. And if I was going to be picking players that I was going to put out against Premier League elite teams, I'd probably not be picking from that pool of players. There has been a couple of young players that we brought in. I was a little bit worrying that we didn't use them, but I think the level of players that are being spoken about now are first team players. And if you look at the youth players the younger players that we bring in at a first team level, Eddie does then use them, calling people up from your youth development team and calling people, playing the likes of Hall or Walter Maida or, Gordon when we got him, or Tino Livermento. We brought in two of England's best and most promising young fullbacks. We did that, pretty much the first season that Eddie came in, or definitely the second, like the first transfer window that he had with us. So I don't think it's fair to say that he wouldn't use them. In regards to the actual question from Gabby there, though, I think it's good that we are in the conversation. I think a lot of it is kind of blown out of proportion. Any young player that any team in the Premier League seem to go for now, we seem to get our name clagged onto it. I think probably because our fan base is the ones that cares more, so you probably get the most clicks from tagging our team's name in that. But as we saw last season, just being linked with top elite bracket players doesn't necessarily mean anything. I mean, we were going for Benjamin Sesko, we were going for Hugo Ekitike, we were trying to keep, Isaac. There's a lot of names that we were trying to get last season. João Pedro, even Liam Delap, who I wouldn't even say is in the elite bracket, but definitely there was another team that came along and he went to them. Trafford you could even put in that list. So just because our name's being mentioned as going for these players, unfortunately at the moment, still doesn't mean a lot.
Yeah, I mean, go on, Win.
It means very little. Like I say, if the elite come calling, 9 times out of 10, that's where they're going to go. Bottom line, isn't it? It's just the way of the world.
Of course it is. I mean, they'll always look at silverware and things like that.
The double whammy to that is, if we can't attract, near elite players who are going to improve our current squad, and on top of that, we're losing the near elite players that we do have. There's only one way we're going to go.
Of course it is. And that unfortunately is go tumbling.
Which is why it's so important that we at least qualify for Europe.
I mean, they have got a new guy at the helm, haven't they, at the under-21s now, and I'm hoping, he's been there for some time. So I'm hoping they can, all of a sudden turn a corner with this guy. It'll be an interesting look to see what happens. I can't think of his name now. It's gone completely out of my head.
Stockdale, is it?
Stockdale. Yeah, thank you, mate. Robbie Stockdale. I know he's been at the club as a coach for some time. And he's got a history in professional football. But again, what them kids need now is some type of solidity, continuity with the team. The setup has to be the same. I mean, I must admit, since Stockdale's been in, I watched Sue Park the other day. He looked absolutely fantastic. Scored an absolute beautiful goal across the keeper into the far corner. And again, young Sean Neve got a goal against Sheffield. And again, it was played in by Sue Park. So there is definitely two, maybe I'm going to say between 2 and 4 players in that under-21s that you would look at closely and question to see whether there's something there. Again, another report as a defensive midfielder, Keemer Andres has been a priority signing this summer. Andres is known for his tactical awareness, interceptions, passing, composure in possession. So again, he's a young Stuttgart player, 20-year-old defensive midfielder. So again, there seems to be a hell of a lot of young names. But again, this is all speculation until they come walking through that door. We know that, and like I say, there's nothing we can do about it. Kieran Trippier was talking, and I'm going to move it on a little bit. Kieran Trippier was talking about NUFC future. He said, the reality is my contract is up at the end of the season, but I'm not thinking about that. I'm just thinking about tomorrow and helping the club get to where they want to be. If I do that, I've done my job. I'm not looking beyond that. So let's talk about, in the last half an hour or so, let's talk about Barca. Because to me, this is potentially going to be the biggest game of the season by far. Potentially could see Newcastle in the quarterfinals. It'll be an interesting evening with us lot on Talk Radio. I don't know whether I'll be able to control myself, if I'm honest with you, during this game. So let's talk about the 1-1 at St James's Park before we go into tomorrow's game. And I want you to be honest, because Newcastle should have won it. We dominated large spells of that game, late penalty heartbreak, and obviously, it was a tactical success from Eddie against Hensey. The Flick said afterwards, he praised Newcastle's press. He praised the way they approached the game against Barcelona, and that upset Barca's possession. We've heard a lot of names from Barca say a lot of praise towards Newcastle about the likes of J7, the way he stopped and blocked a lot of players. So respect goes both ways in this game, and it is literally a shootout. What's your thoughts then going into this game with this 1-1? Doesn't put Newcastle as favourites, obviously, because the Nou Camp's a different animal to play in. But it certainly gives them that mentality and approach to realise that Barca aren't the team that you expect them to be if they put the work in.
What would you have given? What would you have give to be going in against Barcelona in the last 16 of the Champions League with a chance even? At the start of the season, you think, Newcastle United, if you like it, little old Newcastle United, plucky little underdogs, but the plucky little underdogs who've come out with a result against Barcelona at home. Yes, it was disappointing in the end because of the way the result happened, but if you had said to us 2 weeks ago, would you go to the Nou Camp 1-1 with Barcelona, and you'd still be completely in the game, still want to be up for it, still want to go for it, with a chance, on a little decent run of form, as you've said, in the Premier League, you'd have bit your hands off. So let's not play this down. We've got a hell of a chance tomorrow. We can go there, we can get something, and don't be frightened even if it's 1-1 or 2-2 at full time. That's probably that is a great result for us. And we're going to penalties, and you win at the Nou Camp on penalties, or even better, you go into the last few minutes, you're at 2-2, and up pops Wissa with a goal that nobody's expected, and sends us through. The 55 million, or Elanga even, the 55 million pounds each there, I forgot about then.
Baltimore even.
Of Baltimore, the money that we've paid for them players is forgot about then. And you get through to the final 8, you can progress, you can get better, you can move up. So at this point, let's not be negative at all about this game. Let's not think that the game against St James's was a negative. Let's see it as a positive. We're still in a two-legged tie against Barcelona, the mighty Barcelona, probably the biggest club known in the world. Name, we're challenging with them.
Just to put the money into perspective, one of them players scores the winner. That's virtually their transfer paid for.
Yeah.
in terms of what the financial outcome. That's how important it is, and it's a damn sight more important to us than it is to Barcelona.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is incredible when you think of what could arise from this, and it's a shame. Like I said, again, I still think it's probably a little bit of naivety at times from Eddie Howe to go and try and source that second goal. But I understood it. I understood the reasons why. But even the draw, to me, it was still a win. It was a win because the lads turned up and the way they played against, as Bauke said, one of the Europe's elite, if you like. Very interesting. Thank you very much. I've just been given some. It looks very much like rabbit poop on the side of my. But I believe it's not. Well, I hope
Oh,
it's
well,
not.
well.
I'm going to say, yeah, I hope it's not.
That's a nice present, whoever's just passing that one.
Yeah, indeed. Jelly
And
beans.
by
I
the
hope
way,
they are.
we're going into this game with our away form considerably better than it's been all season.
Well, it's an interesting one, the way the mentality shifted, Win. And this is why I said, have we become a cup team this season? I mean, a competition team. Premier League seems to have taken a back seat. So it is going to be an interesting one. Some key points, I suppose, to talk about in the presser today. Bruno out. Obviously, Sandro Tonali is going to have a fitness test. He's going to see how he is during training. Lewis Miley's still out. He's not made the squad, apparently, but a strong squad otherwise. So how big a boost is it if Tonali is fit for this game? I mean, is he one that... do you go with the same midfield that went against Chelsea? Do you not risk throwing him straight back in the into the firing line? And does this Newcastle side look stronger or weaker than the one that played the first leg?
I think if Tonali's fit plays, I don't think there's any question about that. As well as the team played at the weekend, and just going back to what you mentioned before, I think that game against Chelsea will probably give us more of a lift for this tie against Barcelona than the 1-1 at St James's Park would have, because 1-1 at St James's Park, yeah, we played well and dominated, but we were at home under the lights at St James's Park. I think the fact that we managed to beat Chelsea and hold on for a 1-0 victory against them and played as well as we did there away from home, I think that's going to be a big lift for the team. But yeah, I mean, I think as far as well as the midfield played against Chelsea, I think if Tonali's fit, he plays. I mean, it's Barcelona, and there are levels to this, and as good as Chelsea are, they're not Barcelona, and they're not at the Camp Nou. So I don't know how the other two feel about it, but I wouldn't even question starting Sandro Ole tomorrow.
Hey.
Yeah, if he's fit, he plays. I think it's as simple as that. And I think J7 plays the 90 as well.
I
And
think
Rams
for me, this season's proved one thing. You don't, sometimes not having your best players available to you, or the players that you perceive as being your best players, can help you slightly in regards to you have to play a different style or you have to try things differently. It doesn't matter what team we play tomorrow, just all believe in our hearts we're going to win. You know, if Tonali's not fit, we can still do it. You know, there's no negative there whatsoever. You know, we're going in against Barcelona or on the back of, drawn with them 1-1. If we go there and we get any result, we're still in the Champions League. We still can progress in the Champions League against Barcelona. So, in a way, I don't really care which players play. I just want them all to play at the best. And, for we to at least compete. If we come out and we lose and, but we've tried, that's great. That's right, it's not great, but it's acceptable. But if we come out of there with a victory, I think probably in the words of Bruno, we'll come out of there as heroes, should I say?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. It's an interesting one because if you think, Newcastle played that really aggressive pressing game at home. Do Newcastle play the same aggressive way at the Nou Camp? Or do they have to adapt to be more cautious against Barcelona?
I'd just say go for it.
We'll go for it.
It's a shootout, isn't it?
The trouble is, historically, we've given bigger teams, more established teams, far too much respect in the past, especially when we've played them away from home. We've seen Eddie go to 3 at the back and all this business. It's only ever worked once, and that was against Arsenal in the semi-final of the Carabao. We are at our best when we're on the front foot pressing. Always have been, and with the current squad in my mind, always will be.
But we need to do more as well, Win, is the dog arts again. Frustrate, do Barcelona. Every time you get a chance, hold that ball up, kick the ball away, frustrate players, give them little daft fouls with that you're not going to get a yellow card for, but are going to disrupt play. Go back to where we were at our best and where we can be at our best. Don't be embarrassed if their manager comes out after the game and says Newcastle United were terrible in that game. They played the worst game ever. As long as we win, it doesn't matter whatsoever.
Oh my God,
Super
Bogey's had a
chat from
personality
Wazza.
transplant, says Wazza. Thank you for your super chat.
Thank you, Wazza. Yeah, we've got Francois Letexier from France in the middle tomorrow, officiating with Bram van Brich.
Oh, I thought you
from
were saying
Belgium.
that it was who we had playing Borky tonight. I was like, oh, I knew actor. That explains
I
a
was
lot.
talking about some type of bread.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it sounds like it, doesn't it? Obviously, likely key players for Barca are going to be the usual two, Lamine Yamal and Pedri. And again, I look at Lamine, and I think he's so lucky not to be suspended for this game. Obviously, they've
Him
got no
and
Koundé,
Furman.
no Balde, and no De Jong. So again, that midfield, that defensive line is quite thin for Barca. They did beat Seville 5-2 to go 4 points clear. I mean, Hansi Flick in his presser was it was an interesting tactical insight, if you like, because he did mention he was preparing his team to beat the Newcastle press, and it was going to be a possible false nine system. He was going to play the way he was talking, but again, there's very few coaches, managers come out today and give you the answers.
Tell you what
in a
they're
press
going to do.
conference. Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be subdivision, isn't it? It's not gonna
Of
be-
course, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, these guys aren't silly. They're not going to put all the cards on the table. They could try and work, with this false nine. They've got the ability to do it, to work a false nine quite comfortably. But does a false nine system make Barcelona more dangerous or easier to defend? And can Newcastle disrupt Barcelona's rhythm again, like they did in the first leg, by utilising that press, that intensity, and take the game to Barca at the Nou Camp?
I think that's the only chance we've got is to take the game to them. For me, that's the only chance. And the key really is something Borky said, that the players, all 11 of them, have to turn up. Now, I would rather see all 11 of the players that played on Saturday turn up than stick Bruno and J7 in, arguably better players, but all 11 don't turn up. Because the only way we are going to beat Barcelona is by playing at the very, very top of our game.
You know what? I don't think for us it really matters how Barcelona set up, how they want to play, what they want to do. We just have to play our game and go in against with our tactics and our style of play. And end of the day, if Barcelona turn up and are absolutely magnificent at their ultimate best, unless we get really lucky and fluke it, there's not much of a chance. But if we turn up and we turn up at our best, I wouldn't want to be Barcelona playing Newcastle United at their best. Newcastle United can give anybody a game end of the day. And plus, I know that for a fact that when we get through to the final of the Champions League, was as promised as a ticket. So me and you go to the final together.
Lovely. I have got some breaking news that has just hit me. Thanks, Connor. Times.
Breaking news.
According to it, one of the agents central to Alexander Isak's move to Liverpool is to face an FA investigation into secret payments by Chelsea as part of the transfer deal for star players during Abramovich's ownership. Isak agents cooked. Wonder if he took backhanders to get the Isak deal done. So like I say, he's been investigated. We all said he was dodgy at the time. Seems as though it's become full circle. So that's an interesting one. Obviously, boss.
About Isak at this point, it's all about Newcastle United and Barcelona for me. Forget that rat.
No, I'm just saying you're right. But
I'm not getting you calling you Gary. I'm just saying
it could be an interesting thing that comes Newcastle's way.
I think Borky was talking about Gary.
I was, going back to the saga. It staggered me that Newcastle hadn't brought charges against Liverpool for tapping up.
Oh, come on! It's not about Isak tonight. You've got to be talking about Barcelona.
Yeah, exactly. So Barca are obviously going to be dominating possession because that's what they like to do. And for me personally, I think that actually suits Newcastle, especially if they have that same tenacity as they showed against Chelsea, another team that likes to utilise the ball. If they allow Barcelona to play in front of them the same way as they did against Chelsea, will Barcelona have the creative nous to make more chances? And does Newcastle then, will Newcastle be able to have enough chances purely through transitions, as we saw against Chelsea? So 2 questions then. Does that possession-based football suit us? And does that give Newcastle more of a chance through the transitions? Because we know Barca play a high line.
I mean, I think Barcelona play. I think like possession football, depending on which team we set out with. If we do like step back a little bit and let them play, then potentially not, because we do have a team that's got an individual mistake in us. Against Chelsea, we didn't see that. We didn't see the individual errors. We certainly didn't see us backing off. And if we've got that tenacity and we've got that that belief to like get in amongst it and use our press and disrupt Barcelona, then yeah, absolutely. Them trying to pass it about absolutely fits what we'd be looking to do, I would hope, because Joe Linton, if he plays, is going to try to steal in those little passes that Barcelona are going to try to do. If we've got Gordon pressing, if we get any chance, we've got the players who can capitalise on that. So a little foot in here, a little nick there, whether that's from, like, as I say, Ramsey, Joe Linton, Gordon. We could be on a break, and it only takes one goal at the Camp Nou, and all of a sudden our belief's going to go through the roof. So hopefully Barcelona do, try to create and play their parallel passes, and hopefully we do what we do best and steal that, ruffle some feathers, and then go up the other end and score a goal. Did I hear a super chat drop as
We
well?
certainly did, from Wazza.
I don't know who's been talking about the Pink Panther, but apparently he comes from Durham. Yeah, there's a couple of lads apparently in. Yeah, saying there's a canny night in.
Oh, because the song.
Yeah.
I get it. That's
there
clever.
You go.
I'm going to use that one at work tomorrow.
Hey, individual battles then. Gordon versus the fullbacks. I think, again, does Gordon play through the middle? I think he has to, if I'm honest with you. I don't think it'll be much different from the side that started against Chelsea, apart from potentially Tonali coming in. I think, again, we talk about midfield control. I think it has to be the same, like you say, mentality. There has to be some dark arts in there. There has to be some closeness. And again, we have to be very disciplined defensively. And again,
the worry
does that
for
bring?
Me,
Go on.
The worry for me when I saw that, as I said before the match on Saturday, when I saw that midfield, I thought, bloody hell, that's not one of them can tackle a rice pudding. And if we are intending to break a Barcelona passing game, then you've got to have players who can tackle to get the ball off them. Otherwise, they're just going to be coming in waves, and some of those waves will break, without a doubt. So we cannot allow them to pass.
Well, I don't think you can allow them to try and get into the penalty box and pass the ball.
Third.
Yeah, exactly. You saw how good they were, on the edge of the box with, Almo doing what he does best and just wrong footing Chow. And again, you talk about lots of people are saying, Chow trying to run him wide because he thought he was going that way. It's a quick turn and mentality situation. If he'd have gone square, would he have had a better opportunity to get a foot in like he did against Haaland? Well, yes, he would. And like I said, it's them small margins that create opportunities.
Good skill,
but let's look at it this way: if they pass well, we pass better. If they tackle well, we tackle better. If they score goals, we score more goals. If they're going out there and they've got possession, we get more possession. Let's not go into this looking on the negatives. Let's go into it completely looking on positives. If we
I like
play
it,
well,
Boki. I like
we
it.
beat them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I like this, Boki. Can we keep this version of Boki?
Yeah, absolutely. You know what then? Let's talk about individual battles then, because that to me is going to be a massive one tomorrow. I'm hoping Lamal has eventually crawled out of Hall's pocket. And
He's going to go right
obviously
back in it tomorrow.
I'm going to say that to me is the most interesting duel tomorrow. Is the pressure of the new camp going to tell on a young player's shoulders? Because to me, you know, it's a canny old stadium, the new camp, and you've got to perform. You know, he's got to put Yamal in his place early, and if he can do that and get under Yamal's skin a little bit, maybe that duel can be the same as it was at St James's Park. That's what I'm looking for. Is there any specific duels that you're looking for? And who are they? I mean, for me, the other interesting one will be J7 if he plays against Pedri. Is it going to be another man-to-man type of situation? So there's a couple I've mentioned, but what's your thoughts?
Well, the one thing about Lewis Hall, you mentioned him being young and that, but I'm so impressed by Hall's maturity. I just somehow do not believe the Nou Camp mystique, magic, call it what you will actually get to. I think he'll just play his normal game, and we need to see whether Lamal's up to it.
Can I just quickly touch on that as well, Win? Because, you know, you we're talking about stadiums, you know, in the new camp, them players feel under pressure. Our players won't feel under pressure playing at the new camp. They play against the best fans in the world every week at Newcastle United. The pressure would be going out at St James's Park with 52,000 people, wore flags, going for it, you know, under the lights. That's pressure. Going out at the new camp, I think our players will be absolutely fine. I think they'll just think, you know, this isn't as good as St James's Park. Yes, you've got more people in here, but there's not as good a fans as our fans are. They're not creating the atmosphere in here that our fans would be creating. If we had an 80,000 capacity stadium, you know, the metros would have to go off because there'd be a power surge around the northeast. You know, imagine the electricity coming from that ground.
Happy boogie to you.
Happy
What
bokey
saying?
to
Are you
you.
on drugs?
Happy bokey to you.
Yeah, I mean,
Always got to
Cheers,
look
Rod.
for positives before a game.
you have indeed. RG Fox has come up with a good one. It's only 62 capacity tomorrow because of the construction that's ongoing. So
I thought that this
it's
was
not
the
a full
first
house.
game. I thought that this was the first game that they were going back to, like, the full stadium being open.
No,
no,
I
there's
was
still
hoping we were
parts.
gonna- I was hoping we were going to get more. There was talk about we're getting more tickets, but they didn't
Yeah.
materialise.
No, because
Oh,
they've
genuinely
asked for
thought
a certain
about
part of
opening
the. Yeah, they asked for the stadium or part of the
That's
stadium
for one
to be open.
stand
didn't
to be opened, and if
Yeah.
they'd done that, we would have got another 1,000 tickets.
they? That's right. Obviously, it failed, but
It might have been down to 29 or 32.
yeah, and you could have been there, Win. You could have been there, mate. Yeah,
29 or 32 over Femi Martins.
there's an interesting one. So, what individual
Is that
battles
your
then do?
catch, Gary?
Does that
No,
is
that
that
was
my
me
what?
singing. Oh,
that
his
your
tears
cat?
sound like a cat getting stood on. Let somebody put Barca in jail for me. That was harsh. I was looking at Barcelona stats. I wasn't even giving it the full ins. And
Oh
he's
my
going to still
days.
pick on me.
Oh, jeez, I tell you, it is interesting. Is there any individuals like duels that you're interested in, guys, or shall I move on?
Well,
Just
that was
move
the
on.
one that I was trying to look at was their left back versus if it's Murphy who plays, who they're going to have it because they had was it Cancelo that played at left back last time? The number 2
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So and I think it would be interesting to see whether it's like who's going to play on our right, whether it's going to be Murphy or Alanga. Because I think Alanga does him for pace, but I think Murphy does him for intelligence. So that's going to be their left hand side is where I think, especially if Tino Livermento is playing. I think it's going to be interesting to see how well he can deal with whoever we play on the right. Just with the fact that we've got Livermento back, we've got the fact that he didn't deal with us particularly well at St James's Park. And that was when we had Trippier on a right back as well. And that was the other thing I would be interested to see is whether Trippier starts tomorrow because
Well, I was
of
gonna
his
say that.
experience.
That's what I was
Yeah.
going to say. We've got 4 selection dilemmas, haven't we? We've got
Yeah.
Burn, Botman, Trippier, Livermento. Is Tonali fit, and does J7 start? So they are the
Jason's got to
four
start.
big decisions.
Yeah, I mean, you can't drop Ramsey either because he's playing well, hasn't he? You know, his performances over the few games in the absence of both Tonali and Bruno have
Now,
been
Ramsey
very
and
good.
JSM will be the first names on my team sheet,
If
along
you've
with...
got-
Anyway,
You've got to stick with that back four as well, haven't you? I mean, it just shows you what having players playing in proper positions, not having to worry about where each other are on the pitch means to a defence. So
But would
that
you,
back four
because
has
of...
to stay the same.
See, I was agreeing with that all the way through until I listened to Trippier's press conference. And then I was like, oh yeah, hold on. Trippier's had a lot of experience against Barcelona, against one of their big rivals in La Liga. So that would be the only question for me, is whether Trippier's shared knowledge. I mean, he can probably share that from the bench, because I would like to see us go with Tino Livermento, but there is that question mark about whether we might just play Trippier because of his experience against Barca.
When we're 3-0 up and cruising in the second half, then Trippier comes on for me. You know,
I can
until that
accept
point,
that.
until that point, we're sort of, we'll stick with the best defence we've got, and then as soon as we get to that point, Trips comes on just to keep the ship floating by and seeing the game out.
So I agree. I agree. We'll play with the best defence we've got, which of course is for me Livermento at right back. But the best defence we've got is with Dan Burn at left centre back. So
To be honest,
that's
that wasn't
really-
the point I was making. When I wouldn't
No,
mind if Burn
no.
or Botman played in the back. It's by the by. They're both excellent defenders.
Because the argument that they're not looking after each other's positions applies equally to
everybody.
Oh yeah, it's centre back. Dan Burns solid.
And
mean,
for what
there'd
you
be
get
no
out of
issue,
him
but-
in terms of his do or die, you know for a fact he is gonna do or
There'd
die.
be no issue putting Burn in because he gives that little 10% extra. But the better defender is Botman. So if I'm honest, I'd probably start with Botman myself.
I
Actually,
disagree, but
on
never mind.
recent European form, I'd probably be tempted to go with Burn, because Botman has had a couple of games where his passing's been a bit off kilter. I didn't see that against Chelsea, but I'd say there's a fair shout for bringing Burn back in. But there might also be a shout for, look, what we've just done against Chelsea, don't disrupt anything in that back
Exactly.
five. Just leave that exactly as it was. It worked. They've clearly got some sort of understanding. Let them do 2 games in a row and just build up that chemistry between them.
So none of us jumping in saying we should be putting Pope in goal as probably the more experienced, well, definitely the more experienced goalkeeper.
I don't think
Nobody mentioned that at all, and I
I
certainly
think
wouldn't. But just
Ramsdale's been too good to
I think
consider
wait,
that.
the way we
defence have
passed
got
out the
so
back.
much more confidence in
Exactly.
Ramsdale. Than
That's the thing. His communication with the back four is something that I don't see any of it from Nick Pope. I see a very nervousness from Nick Pope anytime he gets the ball passed back to him, anytime there's a corner. Ramsdale's kind of got that what you need from a goalkeeper is being there, commanding your area, communicating with your back four. And Ramsdale's just kept his first clean sheet for us in the Premier League. I wouldn't even be considering taking him out of the team at this point. In fact, I would say to him, if we qualify for the next round of the Champions League, we will pay you whatever wage you want. We are signing you for 16 million this summer.
There was an interesting point brought up by Foxy in the chat last week, because he was mentioning about Barcelona not being fantastic on the road. So Newcastle really let them off the hook. But I wanted to ask you guys, are Barcelona now one of, as Boki said earlier, is Barcelona just a name now? Or do they still have that pedigree? I mean, listen, we know the Nou Camp's going to be a challenge. But I actually believe Newcastle are in with a chance here. So
I think they'll win
it's
with
a
a
little
chance,
bit
but
like
I
Man
do still
United
think
under-
they're good.
I think it's a bit like Man United under Ferguson, isn't it? Were they ever as brilliant? But sorry, at the times were they as brilliant as people thought? No, but they got that 10% extra from being Man United under Alex Ferguson. I think it's the same with Barcelona. They get that little bit of 10% extra because teams go there fearing them because they are Barcelona. Let's not go there and fear them. Let's go there and think we're going to smash us. We are coming in here and to beat us.
We saw that effect to great effect with Man United when they lost, when they dipped in form and finished up whatever it was, 12th and 14th or something. Suddenly, teams didn't fear going to Old Trafford anymore.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
you know, it's like any sport. It's like a snooker competition. You know, when Steve Davis was in his pump, he was like 3 frames up before a ball was hit.
That's right, yeah.
Because the
placebo
opposition
effect,
knew
isn't
that if they made one single mistake, they were going to get
But-
hammered.
But I'm saying
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like the placebo effect, isn't it? It's sort of the
Absolutely.
It's a mind thing. It's something
Yeah.
in your mind that thinks Man United are the biggest team in the country at that time, and now and then with Barcelona now it's like, oh, Barcelona are the biggest team in the world. Let's not go there thinking that. Let's just say we're playing Barcelona. And again, going back to the fans, I think their fans will be in for a hell of a shock with the Geordies that are going to be in that ground.
Oh, they're
You
not
know,
going to be ready.
they will not be ready to try to outsing that lot because, let's face it again, we've got the best travelling fans in the
We'd
world.
let them try. By
Yeah.
all means, let them try.
Barcelona will try, but win, lose or draw, our fans
we'll
will
shut them
bring
up.
them. Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll shut
exactly.
them up 100.
So I'm down to the last 4 minutes, and I want 1 minute for fan reaction. Okay, so this is interaction for us versus the fans now. One word: can Newcastle actually win this tie? Yes or no? Who scores the decisive goal? And what's the biggest fear going into the game? Just put your answers in the chat, and we'll get as many done as we can in the last couple of minutes. For you guys, if Newcastle score first, what happens?
We go on to win.
We'll win. We'll win. It'll be in the 96th minute. And it'll be Wissa putting the ball in the back of the net.
We've suddenly
What's
learned
a
how to
whistle?
defend a lead. We can get a dog license now because we can hold on to a lead.
Fantastic. If Barcelona score early, do Newcastle collapse or respond?
Respond 100%. I think potentially the best thing that could happen to us is they take an early lead and bring it to where we have to go and get at them. I don't think there'll be any question of it anyway, because I think we'll be going in there raring to go and ready to shut Barcelona up. But if they score a goal, that's probably going to be the worst mistake they can make, because we will go absolute like hell to leather for it after that.
I'm afraid I cannot agree with you in saying that the best thing that happened to us is Barcelona.
No, I'm trying to scare
scoring early.
them, man. I'm trying to scare them. If they're listening, they'll be like, oh no, we better not score. Christina says that Newcastle will score 5 if we do that. It's all not part of my plan. Not just a hat rack, my friends. Not just a hat rack.
What
Yeah,
one thing I
exactly.
would say on that though, Win, is if we do concede a goal, again, don't panic. You know, don't sit there and think, oh, this is over now. We can still
right.
get back into that game. You know, if they score early, we score after a few more minutes, and then we take the lead. You know, don't worry if we concede a goal. Keep supporting her, you know, and keep the faith with the team. You know, the team can still do it. They won't concede early. I've got no doubt that they will do that. But if they do, don't panic. Would be my advice. Just keep supporting the team and keep wishing we're forward.
Right, let's have a quick look at what people have said. We've got a 1 minute. We've got old angry noob gamer. No, sorry, that is it. Nothing. Grommatone. Yes, Gordon. Then we've got RG Fox. Miracle 1-0. Gordon scores.
You've missed Gav House, who also said 100%, and Barnes.
Ah, yeah, well done. Thanks for that one. Gav
I'll bring
House
it
is
back,
in the
don't worry,
building.
Gary.
I love it. I love it. Yes, but we have to press for 90 minutes, and Voltamada can't play, says Chris. Big Worm 3-1 Newcastle. Tonali, Barnes, and Gordon. Like it. And I don't know if anybody else has entered that one. So there you go. Thank you for that. Like I say, the lads are close to coming on to continue the show. So stay with us. Like I say, if you can, please smash that like button.
Smash
subscribe.
them likes.
If you haven't already, subscribe. And like I say, if you can and if you can afford to do so, become a member. It certainly helps us go forward. Gentlemen and lady, thank you so much for your entertainment this evening. I'm going to leave with my closing monologue. Newcastle United head into one of the biggest nights in their modern history. They've gone from fighting for survival to competing with Europe's elite, from hoping to belong to proving they can. Barcelona away is the kind of game that defines eras. Win it and it's history. Lose it and it's a lesson. But either way, this club is moving forward. Thanks to the panel. Thanks to everyone listening. And whatever happens tomorrow night, it won't be boring. So join me an hour before kick-off. Away the lads.
Away the
Oh,
lads.
well, lads.
set up for maximum confrontation and super opinionated debates. The NUFC Late Night Show with Chris the American Man, Derek the Mighty Wind, and the rest of the panel, Monday through Thursday from 9:30 p.m. UK and UFC Talk Radio, the voice of the Toon Army.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Late Night Show. We are live here at 9:30 in the UK, ladies and gentlemen, with Boki, with Mighty Wind, Super Mac, and Sean from County Durham. But not the matter with County Durham, man. What's going on? Not the matter with County Durham. Mostly Geordies, shall we say. Anyway, how are you, fellas? Doing good?
Doing good. Looking forward to tomorrow.
And fantastic. Nervous.
Good match. A good match tomorrow, of course, coming up. Don't forget to smash that like button. We only got 20 likes in an hour and a half show. That is dross, blasphemy. Be ashamed of yourselves. Hit that like button right now. Stop being shameless. Hit that like button right now, everyone. Come on, 37 likes. That's not even enough for an hour and a half show. Come on, if you want another hour and a half, hit that like button right now and help the channel grow. Become a member if you can. Hit that join button below. If you don't see the join button, more than likely is because you are on an Apple device. Therefore, you need to get on Android or on a PC, or just go to the web browser on your phone, on your Apple device, and follow the steps there. Go to YouTube, etc. Hit that join button and do it that way. Enjoy exclusive content, of course, and yeah. But if it's not the time, hit that like button. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything. On top of that, you can super chat, of course. Thank you for the ones that have been super chatting so far. If you want to highlight your question, please do so, and send in a super chat as well as support the channel. Help us get to 100 likes, folks. Help us get to 100 likes. Right, so we got Barcelona tomorrow. I tell you what, though, let's go to what's going on in the Premier League, not Premier League, Champions League, actually, right now. As of today, of course, a lot of matches, and we got already some teams officially going on to the next phase of the round of the quarterfinals. Quarterfinals. Sorry. Sporting and Bodo Glimt. Sporting beat them 5-0. How'd the first one go? Bodo Glimt scored 3, I believe.
3-0 after 90 minutes, and then they went.
They went to Portugal.
We are knackered.
I mean, that is something else, man. That is something right there. They got the job done. Chelsea. Going on right now, 75 minutes. PSG is just knackering Chelsea, and the aggregate is 8-2 right now. I mean, it's just beyond belief. So much for the Premier League being a tough league. Anyway, Man City and Real Madrid, they're drawing at the Etihad. City's got a red card. He's got a man sent off, but it's not going to be enough because Real Madrid got 3 on the home tie. So much for Premier League teams. Oh, man.
Proves it.
Anyway, what's the next one doing? Arsenal. Arsenal doing proper right now. But they're doing Leverkusen, so, they're doing decent right now. They're going to be advancing into the quarterfinals. 3-1 comfortably right now. 76 minutes. I doubt that they're going to bottle it. I doubt it. So, there you go. And, of course, tomorrow you got Barcelona, Newcastle United. We shall see. We shall see. Tomorrow is our season on the line. Tomorrow night at Barcelona. We will talk about that right now, ladies and gents. Well, of course. I mean, what would you say? You're fine with not being relegated. That's you as a fan anyway. Tottenham and Atletico Madrid tomorrow as well. Later on in the night, Liverpool, Galatasaray. I believe no, there was a draw, wasn't it? Or Galatasaray? No, Galatasaray got the win, didn't they? If I'm not mistaken.
1-0.
Yeah. So 1-0. That's not too much though. At Anfield, anything can happen at Anfield. Bayern Munich and Atalanta. That one is over, man. Atalanta better just send the kids, send the reserves, because there is no chance Atalanta will score. Like, how many goals did Bayern Munich score? I mean, it was embarrassing.
6-1.
I mean, 6-1, exactly. Yes,
We are
no chance.
Did you see, Chris, that Bayern Munich have got a world record number of injured goalkeepers? And unless their number 3 choice passes a concussion test tomorrow, they will pick a 16-year-old from the under-19 team
That I show
to
you.
make his league debut in the Champions League. 16 years old. Want to
Wow.
watch
Just
for
send
tomorrow
them to
night.
Lesby.
Wow.
Load 'em ruddy.
If,
Yeah.
if the, say that again. If the third keeper doesn't,
Neuer's injured with a muscle injury. Their reserve keeper is out. There was a fella the third choice keeper made his debut for them on the weekend and got clobbered on the head, so they don't know whether he's got concussion protocol. If he doesn't get past that, the under-19 keeper is injured from the weekend, so it's the reserve under-19 keeper, who's a 16-year-old kid, who's the only goalkeeper they've got left on their books, will make his debut for Bayern Munich in the round of 16 in the Champions League at the age of 16 years old.
and
Kinda
people
hope this other
complain
guy doesn't
about
get
us
over his
keeping John
concussion.
Ruddy on the books.
Can I just say to the chat as well, because we've completely missed this tonight. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. Hope you're all having a
Yeah,
great
no,
day.
I was going to say that actually. We forgot about it. Happy St. Patrick's Day worldwide. For some, why do we celebrate Irish people worldwide? I don't know, but we'll
Let's say
jump
how
on the
many.
bandwagon.
Let's say how many Happy St. George's Days we'll get on April the 23rd.
Oh, there you go, baby.
Right, there you go.
Exactly. I'm with on that. I'm 100% with you. For some
And if
reason,
anybody wants to go on a Toon pub crawl on St. George's Day, we'll be starting off in the Monkey Bar at
Love
11
it.
o'clock.
let me tell you something. So when I was in high school growing up, we call it high school properly here. Over there, you guys call it secondary for some reason. Properly, when I was in high school here, everybody was about St. Patrick's Day. So it was a thing. Everybody would dress up. It's like international. It's global, man. St. Patrick's Day. I'm not necessarily the Irish student assassin is Irish, of course. You got Queen of Heart, Irish. Nothing wrong with the Irish folks being green for a day and smoking whatever green you need to smoke during the day. I don't care about any of that. I have your fun. A lot of good beer. A lot of Guinness being drunk tonight. Every day, really, but neither here nor there. But how come? For what reason is that an international, global, worldwide holiday? What did St. Patrick do?
It was an excuse for Guinness to sell more beer.
Right,
there you go. Seriously, that's how it started.
To be fair, the Irish are a bit like the Geordies, a little bit underplayed by everybody, thought of as not being the brightest in the world. So, I
Come
think
on,
everyone just
man.
celebrates them, and that's why everyone celebrates Geordies as well.
Yeah, okay. If you say so.
You're out your mind, man.
If you say
I'll be
so.
honest, I thought St. Patrick's Day had been cancelled this year.
Niall
What was
Powell.
organising the Cheltenham Festival in a week that didn't have St. Patrick's Day on. St. Patrick's Day is always in the Cheltenham Festival, but that was on last week.
I mean, it's criminal. St. Patrick's Day has got to be the most celebrated holiday, a biased holiday that's celebrated around the world. Because Mother's Day, for example, everybody's got a mom, so it says, Father's Day, whatever. Independence Day, when you guys got your ass beat. Sorry about that. But we celebrate proper stuff. But Irish heritage, listen, I'm all for it to have a pint, but I think it's what Wayne is talking about. It's just to have a pint, man. Because I don't know what St. Patrick did. But Sean is wearing the right colors, man, tonight. There you go. Wearing the right colors to need today is a lucky day for everybody. So happy St. Patrick's Day. So there you go. Which, by the way, I got my notes here. St. Patrick's Day dates back more than 10,000 years. So we didn't have Guinness 10,000 years ago. So you're knackered, man.
We'll have
where are your facts?
We'll have our own little leprechaun on the channel as well, don't we?
A little leprechaun, yeah, there you go. Me Lucky Charms. By the way, Sean, we got another one as well. What's his name? Sean from Ireland as well. I think. No, he's not Irish though, man. I'm talking about Sean, the one that calls all the time. I don't know if he's watching or not. I'll tell you what. I tell you what we can do, man. I tell you what, man.
Drunk.
I tell you, probably. That's why we ain't got nobody watching tonight, because all the Irish folks is knackered. So I tell you what, we're gonna open up the phone line, ladies and gents, so we get to get all the Irish folks calling in, having a good old time. Call us and have your say, and see what call us right now, have your say. 0191 916-8864. Why not have the phone number out there so people can have their say? Right. So we got Barcelona. Is it a win? Doesn't think so. Doesn't think so, of course, because he's a happy clapper. But is our season on the line tomorrow? As far as, I mean, it's not the end of the world. You still got to play the weekend. So well, you got the Mackham game, which the question should be: is this the week? The season on the line for this week for Newcastle United? I'm betting to say yes, for the simple fact, if you combine Barcelona and the Mackhams, if you lose both, I mean, there is no going back at the end of the season. I mean, because you can get eliminated from Barcelona, but if you get a good performance against the Mackhams, that's softening, and that's that's fine. If you pass tomorrow and you lose by the Mackhams, it's not the end of the world either. That's fine. But if you lose both, come on, guys.
We are knackered.
Depends on how you perform, by the way. But I'm just saying.
Well, your original question was, is tomorrow the end of the world if we get beat? The answer to that,
I didn't say end of the world.
My answer to that was no. But if you
I didn't say end of the world. I didn't say end of the world. That's the key part right there. Is our season on the line? On the line. That's it.
Yeah,
so
well, and I'm saying tomorrow, no. But if we lose against the Mackhams, definitely. As well.
Yeah. Lower your mic a little bit though, because I know you can't hear me with the radio. Bulky, what do you think? I mean, you have to include the Mackham game, but obviously we're talking about tomorrow. But what are you feeling as far as this game's coming up?
Well, yeah. In regards to before games, you've always got to be positive and think, we've got a great chance against both teams. If we come out of this weekend and we haven't won against Barcelona and we've lost against the Mackhams, that's just a car crash. That is an absolute nightmare. I don't want to even think about we're being there. You know what? I've said I can't do Monday or Tuesday next week, and to be fair, I don't think I could have done it even if we come up this week with those two losses. I don't think I could have done it because I'd have been so fuming. I would have just come on and got banned from DAB radio across Newcastle because I would have swore so much. So I just don't want to even think about that. Is there a chance of it potentially? But let's not look down that route at this point. We're going into the week. Let's be positive. Let's go into the Barcelona game thinking we'll beat them, and let's go in the Sunderland game thinking we'll beat them. But if we don't, then I think serious questions have to be asked about the season, and somebody's tenure is over.
Yeah, it's interesting. We got a caller now giving us a call. What's your name, bud?
Hiya, it's Queenie.
Queen of Heart. How are you?
Not doing too bad. Doing all right. It's a good night for the Irish.
Lucky Charm. I got Lucky Charm cereal downstairs. I should have ate some. But
How you guys doing? How you guys doing tonight?
We're doing good. We're doing good. Doing all right.
Can't complain. Thank you.
What do you think about tomorrow? What's your assessment?
What's your gut feeling?
I've got, let's be fair, the first leg was definitely end to end. However, if we can break Barcelona down, then we've got a chance. We've definitely got that chance. But if we can't, is it done? I don't know. Maybe the lucky charm can be in. Maybe that can be the push that Newcastle have got. But I don't know.
Well, when you got
Barcelona have got that, can do it because they are one of the giants of European football. But equally, Newcastle could do it. They equally have got their opportunities and that chance to do it as well.
Yeah, no, I mean anything can happen. I agree with Boki. You got to go out there, but you got to be smart about what happens tomorrow, though. You can't just say, "Let's go." We are the Geordies, blah blah blah. We got to be strategic because you go out there, acting like Billy Big Bullocks. Then trust me, you might get a spanking that you ain't never seen before. So, no, well, actually, I disagree.
Newcastle can't just sit back. They can't just sit back and And like when you get a lead and you get the opportunity to get that lead, you equally can't just sit back and be, complacent. When you get the opportunity to be in that position, don't waste it.
What happened with? I agree. When you get your opportunities, you can't waste them. But what happened when we played Billy Big Bollocks against Man City and in the Carabao Cup? Just like
Exactly.
that, it was over before we realized it.
Queen, can I just ask you a quick question as my favourite moderator on the channel? Which game's the most important to you? Is it the Barcelona game or is it the Sunderland game?
You're seriously
trust me,
asking that question?
That would that's definitely. I mean, don't get me wrong. If you lose the derby, then it's like Sunderland sitting there and going, in your face. You can't lose a derby.
Okay.
If you lose the derby, it's almost like muck in your face. The derby is more. Trust me, the derby is more important in my eyes.
Well, I mean,
100%.
to be fair, well, in reality, it
both
isn't.
Both are equally vital.
Right.
But let's be fair. If you lose to local rivals, ouch. That's like putting acid on your skin and hoping you're not going to burn.
Well, here's the thing. In the real world, it isn't. In the great scheme of things, it isn't. But what's most defining for Eddie Howe is going to be the Mackham. It's not going to be Barcelona. Because you're going to get all the happy clappers talking about Barcelona.
But real Newcastle fans do see a derby as their bread and butter. You can't have a Sunderland fan coming up to you and going, "Ha, we beat you." That hurts.
There you go. That's a good point.
See,
That's a good point.
We were tired out from playing Barcelona at the Nou Camp. Sorry,
And they're going to say,
how
that go? And how that go, they're going to ask you. That's not playing. See, that's why it infuriates me to the point where it boils my piss, man. Because we're supposed to celebrate here that we're allowed to play against Barcelona. How small time, man. We're allowed. Thank you, Barcelona players, for coming here, playing with us. I'm sorry for the audacity of running around trying to win. What are you talking about, man? You play against them. You show them no respect, just like Tina was saying in the chat. And you got to be strategic. You got to be smart about it. But that's it. You're not happy because you played. But that's not. But you're not happy because you're not showing. Why are you bantering the Mackhams for? Because you played against Barcelona. I mean, that's nothing to be bantering people with, especially if you lose or get eliminated.
That was our 150th game in Europe, and going to be get that trumpet sound.
But we all want. To be fair, we all want to beat the Mackhams.
Of course,
deep down in our gut. We all want to beat the Mackhams deep in our gut. We don't want to sit there and have it wiped in our face. We don't want the Mackhams sitting there and going 2 in a row, do we? If we're really honest in our deepest of guts, do we really? If all the panel are honest in their gut, do you really want to sit there and have them sit there and go, "We beat you twice now"?
Well, again, if it's an embarrassing,
I would just reiterate what I said when I asked the question last week. If you could offer it now, you beat Barcelona 3-0, but you get beat off the Mackhams 3-0. Would you take it? And I would take it.
Well, that's a big difference.
Of the week.
But that's a big difference, of course.
No, I wouldn't. I'd rather get beat off Barca than Sunderland, because you got to look at that. Sunderland's just came back in at the Premier League, and if they win, it's a double.
But what's more important, though, Sean? I mean, you're in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. I mean, that's different kind of different business, man. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't.
Chris, it's a free hit. Tomorrow is a free hit. We've already shown that we're in the right place because we've got a good draw. Probably edged it when we drew with them at home. So it's a free hit tomorrow. If we go out playing well, then, we'll go out playing well. The big game is that we must beat Sunderland on Saturday, because we've got 8 games left to try and get into these European places. And to me, home against Sunderland is one of the easiest 3 points that there is on offer.
I agree.
So we've got that. I mean, that's huge. That is a huge game. Whatever happens tomorrow.
It still doesn't alter what I would do given the circumstances that I would offer last week. 3-0 and 3-0.
I think it's opening up for us. If we can get past Barcelona.
I say we do both.
who are the best team in Spain, you've then got to beat the third best team in Spain. So that should be at least as easy. And then it's Arsenal, isn't it, in the semi-final?
It is.
Now Bodo Glimt aren't there to knock them out. So yeah, why not? There is a route through to the final where we can win games that are coming if we can get past this
Well,
game.
you know,
tomorrow.
but
I would love
you,
to, as Kev
even
said.
if you,
But I
even
still,
if you just go, sorry, go on.
I still say that we can lose tomorrow and then beat Sunderland and move up to 7th or whatever it is. And then people will start looking at that lovely easy running that we've got and see that we can qualify for the Champions League in the Premier League. We just have to win 6 of the last seven games. But it's doable.
Mm.
Definitely.
Yeah,
But
well,
I'd love to
even
do
if you don't
that
look
with having
too,
to try and organise 2 games against Atletico Madrid in April. That would be fab. I'd love it.
even if you don't look too fast forward. I mean, you know, it's a quarterfinal, so if you advance to that, then you know that's pretty good, and you look, you know, weak or face by face. I mean, I would take losing against the Mackhams, well, in a decent way. I'm not, if you lose like you did when we played them away, then that's an embarrassing loss, regardless. So yeah, people are going to be furious like that. So you know,
They're
but
a
like
terrible,
you,
terrible team. They're a terrible
was a
team with a
terrible
load of
performance.
injuries in awful form. So we'd have to play worse than we did at Sunderland to lose at home to them on Sunday.
Can I just say
in my
though
view.
on this, you guys come on here day after day after day being the happy clappers, you know, being up for games. As soon as we get into a game, as soon as we
let
get
me say
into a
bye
game,
to Queenie. Queenie, thank you.
Oh, sorry,
girl.
Queenie.
Have
Yeah.
a good one. Have a good one. See you, Queenie.
More than welcome. Take care.
Yeah,
Bye.
See you later, Queenie.
Go on.
We go into each week, you know, with you guys coming on, going, you know, oh, it's fine, everything's great, and then when we get close to a game, it's acceptable if we lose this, it's okay if we lose this. Let's not go in with that attitude. We want to win every game we play.
I want to
Obviously, we
win
want to
both of
win,
them.
but all I'm
If-
saying
what I
is,
was asked,
if I was given a choice between the two, a hypothetical choice between the two, I would take Barcelona.
Well, I would take both.
I was
I would want to win against
Well,
both.
so
I was
would I take
answering the
both.
question that was. I was answering the question that was asked, which is which one.
Mhm.
And I would take Sunderland because I think we've done really well in the Champions League. I mean, I hope we beat them. I'm rooting for us, and I do think that we'll get past Atletico Madrid if we do get past them. And then it's Arsenal. Let's make Arteta really cry. Might end up with Man City. Oh no, we won't end up with Man City in the final. They're out, aren't they? Oops.
Yeah.
No, it's looking
Yeah,
at
yeah.
Real Madrid now.
But you've got to show teams no respect. You've got to get stuck into them. But you see,
Well, that's a matter of fact. There's no doubt about
if
that.
if we get beat off Barca, but we play outstanding, then it's all good. But obviously, if we play, but against Sunderland, we need to obviously beat them. But I was asked a question today by a lot of people, and they said you only had to pick one. Would it be beat Barca or beat Sunderland, but you couldn't pick both? And a lot of people are saying get beat by Barca, but beat Sunderland.
But that is that. Well, I understand that, but that is the. Listen, I keep my convictions as usual, as always. I call Mighty Win small time because he always is small time. But that what you're saying is also small time because you're only focusing on a derby, where the only reason why we care about it really is because they're here. You know what I mean? Well, there's even in the FA Cup, where we played them a couple of years back. It was good. The atmosphere was great and all that. The banter was there, but everybody knew we were going to beat them, and they weren't even on our level. So, you know, we can't just always think that is it because we got bigger fish to fry, and that is a fact. You know, and again, with that, in the same token, you know, you can't disregard it at all. Matter of fact, you know, as I said, if you play like we did in the first derby, then that's absolutely unacceptable to the point where I called Eddie Howe to be sacked. So, you know, that's just about mine. We got Robert calling us from London. Get his London perspective. Robert, what's up, mate?
Hey guys, the way I see it, we beat Barcelona with our great momentum to beat Sunderland. We should be going into both games and saying, okay, we beat Barcelona and we go to Sunderland and we get revenge. What they did to us earlier in the season, taking pictures outside with their fans, it was embarrassing, and we should literally say to them, you did it to us. They're concentrating for the first time in, I think, 10 years, and we need to show them who the kings of the North are.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to lose to Sunderland. I don't want to lose to
There
Sunderland.
you go.
don't want to lose to anyone.
Who they? No, I do.
I don't want to
Obviously,
lose to Sunderland.
No, nobody wants to lose. But which one would you choose?
I know. I live down in London, but you think I want to lose? Like, you think I want to see Newcastle lose to Sunderland?
Oh, nobody does.
I don't want to lose. I don't want us to lose to Sunderland. I love the fact that we beat Chelsea because I've just been cooking my Chelsea mate for the past few days, telling him to respect the ball and stuff. And yeah, I mean, it's been a pretty good week to be fair for me.
Yeah.
Very good week.
Battle Axe. Battle Axe here asked the question: would you rather beat Barca and get beat off the Macos than we get beat in the quarterfinals? Well, that's you. If you add the quarterfinal, not really, because it would be, a good place to be in the quarterfinals for Newcastle United. You can't expect us to win the Champions League. So
the thing is, if we beat Barcelona, we'll then more or less likely face Atletico Madrid. Yeah. Eddie Howe learnt defensive football the way he plays it under Semenyo, Atletico Madrid's manager. He went to go and learn from him during his time off from football. So we're pretty decent. I mean, we do have a chance of beating Barcelona. People writing us off. Right, you can't write us off. That's the thing. That's the way I see it. Barcelona, yes, they have the fans on their side, but history has proven that Barcelona can get beaten at their home ground in the Champions League.
Robert, can I?
That's the way I see it. But
can I just ask you quickly, mate? I know there's Newcastle supporters down in London. Are there many Sunderland supporters? Is there Sunderland supporters groups and bars down there, or not?
I've never met a Sunderland supporter down in London.
Because you never.
I'm friends with Arsenal supporters, Chelsea, Liverpool. I've got Chelsea, Liverpool, and Arsenal friends of mine. Obviously. I've never met a Sunderland supporter. Man United. I've met Man United supporters. My wife, bless her, is a United supporter. that's a whole different kettle of fish, to be fair. But I've never met a Sunderland supporter. It's like seeing. It's like that song. Have you ever seen a Macca in Milan? I've never met a Macca in London.
There you go.
Exactly.
There you go.
You think they're not allowed out to Sunderland? Basically, they're not allowed out the bridges, are they?
I've got 2 Sunderland supporting pals who live in London, and I've got their addresses if you want to go and shove dog shit through the letterbox.
guys, I will never do that. But you know what? I'm going to say this before I have to go, because obviously, it's a busy show for you guys. And I love watching the show. I enjoy watching it because you guys do talk facts.
Oh, thank you.
Most of the time. Most of the time we talk facts.
Most of the time. But hey.
But you know what? I'm hoping. I'm wishing everyone good luck for tomorrow's game, and just take it easy, guys. That's all I can say, to be fair.
Thank you, Robert. Appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. Have a good one. Well, wait, Robert, before you go, you know I love my geography. What part of London you live in?
South London.
Ooh,
I'm about 10 minutes away from Woolwich.
Are we knackered, or are we,
posh?
Come on, man. Oh, yeah, is it posh side? Oh, you live in the posh side? Oh, Robert.
Woolwich isn't posh.
Is it posh? I mean, tell us, man.
Not posh. I live about 10 minutes away from Woolwich, so yeah.
What's the closest football team to you? Proper football team. No name.
Cheltenham.
Come on, man. I'm talking about proper team, man. Don't give me none of these neighborhood teams.
No, Charlton Athletic.
Charlton Athletic. That's the Bobby Charlton and the brother. Come on, man. Give me a proper team.
Charlton are a Premier League.
No, Charlton are the proper team.
Back when Win was 2, man. Okay, the proper team, Premier League team, man. Give me a Premier League team.
Oh.
There's
Charlton
none.
Are in the Premiership.
That's all you had to say. That's all you had to say. That's all you had to say. Premiership. Anyway, Charlton went in the Premier League 2 years ago. Fool, get out of here, man. Robert, give me a team, man. There's no Premier League team near you.
Brentford, is it? Premier League team.
Probably like Chelsea and Tottenham. I'm pretty. No, sorry. Chelsea, Cheltenham, or West Ham.
But Chelsea is
the closest team to we got.
Chelsea.
I was West Ham. Fuck that shit. Excuse my French. Sorry about that. I don't mean to swear.
No, I do not mean to swear. No, but Chelsea's West Ham, isn't it?
Yeah, probably, but that's thing. That's what the closest team to me.
But you're in the south.
Or Arsenal, if I've got to.
Oh my God, there's no south.
Chelsea's north of the river. He's south of the river.
Yeah, we need to. We get some money.
But I would rather go watch Cheltenham if I had to than go and watch Chelsea or Arsenal because put your local team in, and if I can, I will go to Newcastle and watch our boys.
The Charlton brother team.
I love them.
Come on, man.
But you know what? As I say, enjoy. Have a good rest of the show because I'm going to go to bed because I'm tired.
Cheltenham says Gab House. I don't know if that's true, but he's putting that out there. Anyway, Robert, thank you very much, man. Next time, come on, do some homework. Bring in a proper team, man. Don't bring me the Charlton Brothers team, man. Nobody cares about that. See you later, mate. Take care.
All right.
Cheers.
See ya, guys.
See ya, bye. Call us now. Have your say, folks. Other people are trying to have their say as well. They're trying to call. The phone is, for some reason, being, a lot of calls coming in. A lot of people want to talk to us, Ian. But I mean, it's an interesting question.
Charlton were in the Premier League from 1998 to 2007.
Yeah, that's a long time ago.
And Alan Pardew was the manager as well.
When that's 20 years ago almost, mate. I don't think that's something to brag about. But anyway, RG Fox calling in the house. Oh, RG Fox from Ashington, Northumberland, right? That's what it would be.
That's the one. That's
the one and only. The one and only. What we got? Some proper teams around Ashington.
Well, yeah. And you must have heard of Charlton Athletic. We was chatting, and we bought Robert Lee from him.
But,
Robert Lee came from Charlton Athletic.
Lee, exactly.
You know what I mean?
There you go. Yeah, that's why we nicked him off real fast.
So did Lee. The fucking not did he? Oh, sorry for swearing.
Oh yeah.
But what about Ashington though? I want to know about. Don't try to talk about London now. Ashington, the proper team from Ashington.
Ashington FC. Aye.
Spartans, weren't it?
Aye.
Blind Spartans.
Yeah, Blind Spartans isn't in Ashington. It's the other side.
Wait, you're knocking, man.
You know what I mean?
Well, hey, can you believe this guy is still?
What you've got to understand about Ashington, Chris, is we actually played Aston Villa in the Cup in the 1920s, and there was 14,000 people there. It was a serious situation, serious. Don't get us wrong, we lost the game, but what they are? In the League North won at the time, and that's the way it was. That's the FA Cup.
There you go.
And we had some canny players come from Ashington.
That's true.
People now, the Charlton brothers that won the World Cup.
Jackie Milburn.
People at Melbourne, of course.
War Jackie. Now some proper players come out.
We've got some world-class cricketers from here.
There is an internal.
I'm not sure if you like cricket or not, but I like cricket.
RG, no.
Saying that, RG, I was in the Weatherspoons, which is named after the cricketer, wasn't it? Is it Rowan?
Aye, the Ronan Kanai, but Ronan Kanai wasn't from Ashington. He used to play for Ashington. He's an Indian lad.
Yeah.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
That's him.
So
anyway, what I was phoning up for was because you asked the most difficult question of tonight, Chris, about would you like Barca or Sunderland? Which one would you pick? Well, everybody wants to win both of them, but I'd rather, if we had to lose one, I'd rather lose against the Mackhams because we're going to play them again next year. But you're not guaranteed to be in the Champions League next year playing against these buggers. Well, there you go.
The way it's going, somebody put it in the chat. It doesn't seem like it might be our last one in a long time. So
it might be.
I mean, that's the problem. But go on.
Don't get me wrong. The boys will have to pull out all the stops tomorrow to gun against them. Yeah, I mean, because everybody's focusing on what's happened at St James's Park last day or Tuesday. It's going to be a totally different game tomorrow against them at their gaff, even if it's a reduced fan base. Fans in front is 62 or 65,000 it has because it's under construction. We've got 10,000 there that's going to make noise, but they have been told by their people, get into them and get out of it. Ye know that. We've just got to give it a go. They're a better team than us on paper and on financial balances, and that's that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's a fair point. I mean,
a very good logic there, by the way, RG.
I don't think.
We'll play Sunderland next year. We'll not play Barcelona next year necessarily.
Well, it's not even about Barcelona. That's the problem, though. The wording needs to change. It ain't about Barcelona. If a Newcastle United fan comes to me talking about when's the next time we're going to play against Barcelona, I will chin them on the spot. That's not what a proper fan says. You can say, though, the Champions League. The Champions League, and that is where I agree with you, because we got to be on Champions League every year. That's what I think we need to be. You know,
I would love to be there every year, Chris. I would love to be there every year, but you know, it's hit and miss. This is what we're saying.
Yeah,
this is what we're saying.
Exactly.
And we can only make judgments on what we see.
No, that's true. That's true. Very much. Very true. Very true. You know, but I mean, what can we? I mean, what is Eddie Howe going to do? I think Eddie Howe is going to put all the meat on the grill for tomorrow, and not even think about.
I think he should.
Got to.
Yep.
Do you think Barcelona are any harder than PSG? I don't. And we've drawn twice at PSG.
Well, funny enough, at this moment in time, I think PSG sort of toy with teams and sort of Barcelona teams, and they get a feel for how you play and all that. And then, you know, I don't think PSG were too arsed about us at the time, because it never meant a massive amount about missing out, if you know what I mean. And then you got Barcelona come to us. I think they had a feel for how we're going to play, and because we did well, we're going. This is the best they've played against anybody to get this point. They'll play like this again next week, tomorrow, and this is how we'll deal with them.
Mm. Interesting.
It's interesting what you're saying there in RRG. You know, you were saying 10,000 fans will have in Barcelona tomorrow, and I'm just checking that out because I knew we didn't get 10,000 because I couldn't get a ticket. We actually got 2,934 tickets, but reports are saying that 10,000 fans are travelling.
I hold up a good mirror, man, that went from Bulgaria into Barcelona. Then he says, I've never seen so many Geordies in my life.
Well, yeah, well, we don't know. Some of them might get in on the home end, on the tourist end, if you will, which can definitely happen. And you know, but that's an interesting thing. Gibbo says the size of the pitch suits us going forward. So much room to attack, the opposite for war, defense, low block.
So much more to defend.
Yeah, well, that is true. But the thing is, I think Newcastle cannot go thinking about attacking. I think Newcastle needs to think about try to mimic what they did against Chelsea. I think that's the way to go.
I'm in a different mode from that, Chris. I think we need to be a modicum of between them both. There needs to be a good five at the back, but very challenging up front when it matters. And I think we need virtually a miracle for everything to go right tomorrow for us. For our skills to come into play and our player to come into play and people to be fit and especially the referee. The referee and the linesman in that league is unbelievable, by the way. The cards that they gave and the little nudges that you didn't get or you did get and the pieces of play, it's unreal the way that is. When you watch it, you think, have they made this up? Have I been watching football for 35 years and not seen this before? You know what I mean? They do. But I'll say this last thing, lads, and I'll leave you with this question. Boogie, does Eddie get sacked if he gets through tomorrow?
Definitely not. I don't think he gets sacked this season. But I think you know my thoughts on it. I think you know my thoughts on him, Foxy. We'll agree to differ on that one.
Nah.
But we'll meet up for a pint one day and we'll have a good discussion about Eddie.
I understand you want better, but you haven't told us who we're getting better yet.
Southgate.
Oh, that is a low blow.
I'd rather pull me toenails out in the toolhouse, jongen.
No evidence whatsoever that Southgate could manage in the Premier League. None whatsoever.
Man, that is a low blow right there. That is a low blow. Hideaway says.
Anyway, lads, thanks for the crack. I'll leave you be. You can pick on some other bug I know.
Take care,
That's
man. Grand. Call us now and have your say, folks. Have a chat with us. 0191-916-8864.
Incidentally, folks, the Camp Nou pitch is 105 metres long by 68 metres wide. What do you think St. James's Park is? 105 by 68. Identical.
Is theirs on a tilt?
Yeah, but
right then.
Yeah, but that's
we've got a slope.
They probably haven't got a hill in it though.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is, footballers win. Let me teach you something. When you go into a proper stadium like that, it tests players' personalities. It's not the same thing. Dimensions are just dimensions. You going out there to play against the Camp Nou in one of the greatest stadiums now, technology-wise and everything else, in front of one of the best fans in the world, clubs in the world. Everybody and their mama is watching you, literally. It's not made for everybody, man. But I'm gonna ask Chris from London, call us now, and to have a say. Chris, how are you, mate?
Hey, mate, you really shouldn't ask me the question about what game I want to win. You know, my dad's from Sunderland. My granddad's from Newcastle. Like, I don't need my dad telling me that they beat us again.
Dang, that is criminal.
Do you know what I mean? Like, for me, this is a thing, because I take care of my old man and I help him out when I'm off work here because he's disabled. So I've got to respect the fact he likes Sunderland, but I was brought up to support Newcastle because of my grandfather. So, do you know what I mean? Like, but the fact is, off of that subject, this tomorrow's do or die for us in the day. We can't sit back because Barcelona have scored 128 goals this season.
How many?
They've scored they have scored 128 goals this season.
That's insane. Well, but it's Barcelona.
You know what I mean? We can stat back. It's a fact. Barcelona have scored so many goals this season. It's in the 120 mark they've scored. Yeah. Now, if we sit back at home, they're going to have confidence anyway. Because has the stadium been reduced or like just renewed?
Oh, it's been completely revamped.
Who's Barcelona?
I was wondering because I know Barcelona Stadium used to be almost just under 120,000 seats.
No,
once upon a time it was 120,000. So even though we've got 10,000 fans that are going to Barcelona, I don't think we're going to make more noise than they are, mate. They're going to have over 90,000 home fans cheering them on.
They're not. They aren't.
No.
When they played Valencia, there were 46,000 in the ground. They've extended that for tomorrow night's game to be 62,000, and they've released an extra 1,000.
So where's the rest of the stadium?
Out of that, sorry.
When?
So Ian, where's the rest of the stadium? Because the fact is, I went there 4 years ago. Yeah. They had a capacity of like 105,000 seats.
Yeah, it was huge.
Yeah. When this is finished,
unless they closed it off,
you'll see 6 cranes all of the way around the Barcelona ground.
Yeah, I know they are redeveloping a certain stand, but I'm just wondering, even then, I want us to win tomorrow because the fact is, I'm not being funny. We've had this debate before. We go on about our season, and our season is capitulated because we are missing a 25-goal striker. We can argue about him being a traitor, the fact he left. We had a stable 25-goal striker last season that got us into the top 5 and also won us the League Cup. Now, the fact is, unfortunately, mate, we're going to have to persist with Gordon because he's the only guy that has the pace to get behind Barcelona's defence.
Yeah.
So I'm a big fan. I'm against what Wynn said earlier. We've got 8 games left. 7 of them are winnable. Yes. The only hard game we've got left is Arsenal. The 8 we've got left. But Wynn, we are 7 points behind with 8 games left. We have to hope that Liverpool and Chelsea lose another 3 games out of the last 8. for us to have a chance to get
And
in there.
Aston Villa.
And everybody else loses games.
Chris, you picked up the point there about Isaac obviously being a 25 goal scorer that last season. What the hell do you think's gone wrong with us this season? Why isn't he playing like he did last season?
I think. Look, Chris is a big fan of Oldemada. I think in any other team he would work, but for this season alone, we have to stick with what Win is saying. What we know, high press. It worked for us against Barcelona. And I know, like, people are saying we have to be careful what we do at Barcelona, but the fact is, he who dares wins. And unfortunately, the only way to keep Barcelona off you is to keep the ball in their end of the field.
So do you think?
And that means we have to attack. It sounds horrible, but if we sit back, you know what's going to happen. And look at City, Chris. You say, obviously, we know City have beaten us up in the last 3 games we've played, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have literally been wiped out by Real Madrid.
They did.
Today. And over the last leg.
Yeah. Because Real Madrid better
and
team.
Barcelona beat Real Madrid.
Well,
Like they won the league last year over Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Like these teams are so comparison. Yeah, Real Madrid have a couple of better players, but I think at home they're going to be a bit better. But I don't mean we can't beat them.
No, I agree, but I mean, that's
I
why you
only
gotta pick your
actually came on here. I'm fully behind the team tomorrow. I want them to win. My main point of coming on here tonight was yesterday you guys all had a conversation about why we don't get transfers done. Yeah, and obviously people were saying you couldn't get transfers done before the window opens. Well, could someone explain to Fulham how they just signed Pepe from PSV for £38 million?
Pepe, the American boy from South
Yes,
Texas.
he has agreed in principle to go to Fulham in the summer for £38 million.
Because we're
So all this, what we hear about people saying we can't sign anybody, well, if Fulham can, why can't we? Like, I'm a bit mesmerised by this because it's a choice, Chris. It's rather our board and our recruitment team are inept.
Because, well, listen, because
or Newcastle are.
We are not an open-minded team. I've said it a million times. We're not. I'm
starting to agree with you now because the fact is, if Fulham and all these teams can go out and get players in, why can't we? And the whole win thing about we need top players. Well, if Eddie Howe is this top manager, and I will keep saying this to Win, if he is this top manager, you call him the man that improves players, develops players. Why won't you be open to Eddie Howe making youngsters better?
Who's not open to Eddie?
Because in one hand you're telling us that Eddie Howe is his top coach, but on the other hand you're telling us that we have to buy these world-class players. Well, does that mean that Eddie Howe can't train people?
Doesn't mean anything of the sort, but it means he's not responsible for training young'uns.
No,
yes, if we signed a 19-year-old player and we put him in the first team, he is responsible, right? He is responsible for getting the best talent out of that kid, right?
Yeah. And by the way, a young player doesn't mean an academy player. In the young
no, but I mean, you see this winger they mentioned earlier, Chris, the German guy who plays for Mainz. I think it's Mainz. But El Mayo, whatever his name is, he is 19 years old. He's been pushing up daisies in Germany. He's been scoring a lot of goals, assisting a lot of goals. There's a lot of teams that are looking at him. Like, why aren't we going for players like that? Because it's not like we're too good for it. Because, as you know, Chris, and I think Win ignores this, and I think a lot of the guys in the chat will agree with this, we are a club that, yes, we have to buy players for the future and for now. But we also have to be a club that knows when a player gets to a certain age, unless we start selling players, we will not have the financial income to go and replace a squad of old players.
Well, listen. Well, that is a fact. Now, listen. Like I said, we're not an open-minded club. We should have been. I mean, we should be investing in not young players as in young academy players, because that's rubbish, man. Pivas guy. I mean, where they at? They're nowhere near to be found. We need to invest in young players that have talent, that have scored goals at PSV, for example, and we can get them in and see what they can do in the first team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I want to ask all the panel, who was Bruno before we bought him?
Nobody. No, there weren't nobody.
He was a guy that went to Lyon, right?
There were nobodies. None of them. So
Who was Isaac before we bought him?
He was doing this in Real Sociedad, but no, he wasn't. Nobody.
He's a guy bouncing around, right? He's a guy bouncing around. Got refused by Dortmund. Went to Spain. Tried to make a bit of a name for himself.
The only one was the chosen one as Tonali, playing in one of the greatest teams.
Well, yeah, he went from what do you call it? He went from a team Spienza to AC Milan. So that's generally that's literally making yourself a better player.
Yeah.
But I'm saying a lot of the players we bought, like Botman, he came from Lille. Like we got Lewis Hall from Chelsea's youth ranks. We got Tino Livermento, who was chucked out of Chelsea's youth ranks because he was too injured. Went to Southampton. We picked him up.
That's right.
It's not like we can't find players. Like I'm just stating, I believe that if you've got true faith in a manager who's supposedly this good, his job is to train these players, and whatever we bring in, he should be able to do something with it.
There you go. That's that. Anyways, Chris, gotta let you go, man. But good takes, and I agree with you actually, for the most part. So
didn't
Chris,
we have
thank
to?
You, man. Oh, sorry, one more thing, because Sean was.
Yeah, but didn't we have two good sporting directors who look for quality players like Mitchell and Ashwood? You know what I mean? And Eddie couldn't.
Well, we did, and to be honest, I'll agree with you. I don't know what to think of this new sporting director because I knew he was at Forest. I knew Rangers hated him, and I knew he was at Southampton for a tiny bit. And this summer will prove whether or not he is a man that can do his job, or he's just a guy that the board went, Eddie, who do you want?
Yeah,
that's quite a statement, but we don't know. Anyway, Chris, thank you for calling us, mate. Appreciate it.
As regards Rangers, Steve Gerrard was full of praise for him.
He was win, but the fans wanted him out. They were cheering his name to get the hell out of Rangers.
I don't know. I've never seen any proof of that.
They were probably fair weather plastic American fans. I don't know.
Right, boys, I'm going to go anyway. Have a good evening.
Cheers, mate.
I hope we win tomorrow. And I'm telling you, mate, on Sunday, I'm going to be crying in the corner if we lose, or I'm going to be jumping around, going nuts if we win. But we need to win that game, mate, on Sunday.
Yeah. Well, we definitely.
Was it Sunday or was it Saturday?
That's the only thing that's for sure. We need to win that game.
Sunday,
cheers, mate. Have a good one.
Sunday at midday.
Take care. There you go.
Ross Wilson, of course. Ross Wilson was the sporting director at Nottingham Forest who managed to get Elliot Anderson for 35 million and sell Vlachodimos for 20 million in the other direction. Yep. So I think that's quite a good sign.
And Morel.
He pulled that.
Point on what Chris picked up on there in his call, which I think is a really good point, is you look at players we've signed from abroad compared to what we've signed from Premier League. Players we've signed from abroad have been a lot better.
I've said that too,
than they have from Premier League.
I've used that argument as well, many
even
times,
in the summer. So. Chow is head and shoulders up until now when he might be starting to bring Ramsey into the equation.
Even with the agenda, the narrative, the hatred, and that Voltemada gets, he's our best center forward right now. He just doesn't, and it's about changing the team to his strengths. We don't do that. So, there you go. The proven players have struggled.
We'll do it in the summer.
Exactly.
But the proven players have actually struggled, which is insane, isn't it? But you tell me how that works. Do you know why? Because proper footballers are all over the world. You bring them in, if they're good, they're going to play. So where they're at in the world is irrelevant. Look at this kid, man, doing decent, American guy from El Paso, Texas. You know what I mean? Bring him in, man. Now he's going to go to Fulham and he's going to knacker his career over there. When he could have, we never know. Put him in, be a backup, get him in.
Come here
got
and
family.
his career here.
No, at Fulham. I'm talking about Fulham, fool. I'm talking in the Premier League is what I was saying.
I'm saying he's going to go to Fulham and knacker his career there, and he could have come here and knackered his career here.
No, because he'll come. Well, maybe because you do buy the nonsense of buying young players and not giving them any opportunity. I don't. I subscribe to give the young players time to play and perform. So there you go. That's the difference, man. That's the difference.
Will be too young to answer. Too old to answer this question. But for the rest of the panel,
that's one thing he doesn't hear anymore. Win is too young for anything.
Yeah, when you were 17, 18, were you more passionate and more ready to go for things than when you start hitting your late 20s? Because I think at 17, 18, 19, you've got a lot more fight and a lot more, I want to prove myself in life. Once you start hitting 28, 29, 30, you lose that.
But here's the thing.
And then you've got girls to worry about.
And here's the thing. Christina says he'll get first team in Fulham. I don't care how much he gets guaranteed at Fulham. He would crawl to Newcastle if you tell him the opportunity is open. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Because Newcastle United are in another level of football.
I just say, can you guarantee that he's good enough?
You can't guarantee anybody's good enough.
But hang on that one, Wissa, Elanga, can you guarantee?
You can't. But the thing, you can't guarantee anybody's good enough. Liverpool couldn't guarantee Isak was going to be any good. So, what are you on about? You can't guarantee nothing, man. Put them on the pitch. Give players opportunities, man. That's all you got to do.
Wait and see.
And wait and see what?
Wait and see what?
Whether they're good enough.
Yeah, but what makes me laugh is you take Elanga being absolutely awful for us, but if he leaves Newcastle, he'll be a totally different player. I just don't get it, that bit. And certain players leave from Newcastle and they seem to be better for them than were for us. But then they were decent before we signed them.
There you go. Listen, Champions League results are in, ladies and gentlemen.
For examples of that.
Champions League results are in. Man City eliminated from the Champions League at this round of 16. That is bad for Manchester City. That is a letdown for Manchester City. Although getting eliminated from Real Madrid, they're on the same level football-wise. They should be advancing. Arsenal taking care of business. 2-0.
5-1.
There you go. Arsenal taking care of business against Leverkusen. PSG advancing. And Bodo Glimt knackered after a 3-win win at home. Going to Portugal. They did a job on them at Sporting. And just like that, ladies and gents, 2 English teams knackered by the French, by the Spaniards. So there you go. The Premier League, the toughest league of them all. And all that nonsense. Only 2 English teams are representing England right now. And hopefully one will win. Hopefully one will win.
Only be 3 after tomorrow.
Matter of fact, look at that. No, actually, might just be 1 left. Might just be 1 left tomorrow. Because Tottenham are knackered. They lost 20-0, or 21, I think, over there in Madrid.
And yet they went and drew with it, Liverpool.
And I don't want to say, look, I won Newcastle United win, but.
We're underdogs, Chris. We're underdogs. You're allowed to say we're underdogs to go win.
No, 100%.
Liverpool.
So really, but by tomorrow, Ian, there could be just 1 English team if Liverpool are able to win as well. Against Galatasaray.
Galatasaray. Yeah.
Hey, I'm just saying, a Turkish club. Where's my man Alex calling for Turkey? Call me now, man. 0191 916 8864 is up there. It has Liverpool against the ropes. A Spanish team and another Spanish team, and even Atalanta was in the mix, but a German team was there. So, what's up? I just want to know what's going on with the Premier League. So I thought the Premier League was just going to run over all teams.
Well, there's only going to be 8 teams left.
I thought this was going to be.
And there's still potentially 3 of those 8 going to be English.
But hang on, win using
ain't no potentially win.
Moving your metric crap. How far off we off Champions League now? Is it 9 points? Because there's no chance 5th now going to be Champions League.
No, it could still be 5th. There's a lot of things got to happen for it to lose the coefficient. But two have failed today.
Simply an English team not winning it will do it. I think
could have been getting points for even getting beat, getting knocked out. If they'd won, but not by sufficient, it would have still been 2 points.
At the same time, Arsenal have won and have beaten a German team. And Germany was the team just behind us, I think, weren't they, for the coefficient?
Germany
we were so far ahead. So we were so far ahead. I think we're still on for the 5th place. Anyway, my Premier League predictions had Newcastle finishing 4th, so it doesn't matter, Bokey.
Good luck,
There
mate.
you go. Look, man. Listen,
150 to 1 I got on it.
I hope we beat them. But, realistically, it's just going to be tough. It's going to be tough. And Tottenham are not beating Atletico Madrid. I don't care how you want to paint it. Atletico Madrid.
Come on away, yeah.
Yeah, there's come on, man. Atletico Madrid is old sea lion, knows how to move around and get away, and move around and get away from the orcas lurking around. And trust me, Tottenham ain't no orca. They're another sea lion just trying to get away. You know what I mean? So in Atletico Madrid, third in La Liga. I mean, it's just criminal, man. Tottenham are about to get relegated. So. It's just the way the cookie crumbles, which, by the way, I'm not complaining about. I just want to debunk the theory that English teams rule like the British Empire back in the day, because they don't. You know what I'm saying? They simply don't.
Hey, whoa.
They
have that powder dry until tomorrow.
They usually have, I say we because we're the Premier League focused, have the better teams, most teams out there. That's why we got the more teams in the Premier in the Champions League. However, that's about what that means, really. That's that. Because anybody can be, if you're in the Champions League, now the Europa is going to be a different situation. Well, what about the Europa? How many teams are in the Europa League?
And that's what shows the depth.
Okay. Well, let's go to the Europa League.
Well, we're all in.
Villa are a goal up again in a home game against Lille, but I think Forest are struggling, aren't they?
You're talking about Forest? Not good. Villa. There's only two English teams, fool. What are you talking about?
No, that's the only.
Palace
we've only entered two.
Palace
in the conference.
The conference.
Yeah, but Palace ain't doing that.
You get this whole argument. You get this whole argument from Win and these stats and all that about relying on other English teams doing well in Europe for Newcastle United to progress, or should it be up to Newcastle United to have their own destiny in their own hands?
I agree with that, but
relax.
But I'm talking about more a broad thing. That anybody can beat anybody, and all of a sudden Brentford would be finishing second in the Serie A. All that stuff is nonsense. You know what I mean? All that stuff is nonsense. But I thought there was more English teams in the Europa, man. Villa. I mean, they might do it against Lille, but maybe. But Forest, oh my God. I mean, they are playing as Midtjylland, whatever is it called. So
Danish, I think Midtjylland.
Yeah.
That
was where we got our
I've seen Midtjylland play twice. I saw them play at Old Trafford. Man U played them, and I saw them when I lived in Warsaw because Legia Warsaw played them. So
there you go.
How many of the rest of you people watching have seen Midtjylland twice? There's bound to be somebody in Denmark watching who's got a season ticket there.
Is that where they're from? Denmark?
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, they because I think they got the little squiggly the line through the letter there, so that means they're one of them countries, and you know what I mean. They got the split. Oh, not them, but
the American approach to geography. They've got a squiggle on one of the letters, so it's one of those
you know what I mean. But what about the Conference League? Nout. Crystal Palace. Yeah, Crystal Palace. Yeah, Crystal Palace. Yeah. Yeah, but they're gonna be knackered. They're gonna play against Shakhtar Donetsk, man. One of the best teams in Ukraine. What's going on, man? Half a team fighting the war, half a team playing. Come on, man. Win.
We are knackered.
Give up, man. It's just the Premier League is the best league in the world by a margin, a normal margin. You know what I mean? That's it. They got two teams more than the rest. That's it, man. That's it. But listen, all I hope is Newcastle United winning tomorrow. I think we need to sit back, and assess the situation. If we go gun-ho at Barcelona, dude, you ain't got a clue, man. We did the same thing with Man City. We had the same conversation with Man City, and Man City destroyed us in minutes, man. You don't want to give up the win in minutes. Yeah, I don't want to do that. I think we got fast players to play counter.
Blew two chances in the first 12 minutes at Man City that cost us the game.
Yeah, but I don't want to see us take the lead and then just sit, because Barca
No,
will,
because
they will
you
rip.
got to be tactical about it.
Yeah,
You know, 'cause-
the game plan's got to work when you go in there.
yeah, and try to have the ball as much as you can, pass the ball around as much as you can, and listen,
And
you got to pick your
gotta
poison.
Stick with it.
Look, you listen. You don't. You got to pick your poison. You either chop your foot or your arm. It's that simple. You know, I mean, is that easy, really? I mean, attacking them is going to be risky. Defending is going to be risky, because defending for 90 minutes, man, it's going to be
You're
like
not going to
3
do
days.
it in Nou Camp. I mean,
you
Chris
are.
from London got his facts slightly wrong. He said, well, I don't know, they might have scored 120 in all games. They've scored 46 and 14 at the Nou Camp in La Liga. So it's more than 3 a game.
Just going off that though, Win.
Well, I mean, that's a lot of goals, Win. I don't know if I don't know.
Game?
You're not helping your point at all, by the way. that's a lot of goals.
I mean, how?
No,
No,
I'm
but
saying
since
it's 3 a
December,
game.
how many have they scored each game since December? It's 3 a game. You know, it's a tough opposition to go up against, but let's not worry about it. You know, let's go out there and try to smash them. But you know, it's
what I'm
not
saying.
easy. Don't sit
You're
here and
not
try
going
to.
Well, no, no.
to defend
I-
for 90 minutes against Barcelona.
Well, you're going to have to. Well, you're not going to attack for 90 minutes. I know that.
Why?
Now that's for sure. Win, come on, man.
Yeah, but also
Come
Barca's
on,
unbeaten, aren't they?
man.
At home.
Barcelona has
Again,
not scored.
Barcelona's not unbeaten. They're unbeaten at home, aren't they? So no one's beaten them at home.
Barcelona, bro. However they're gone, I don't know the results. I'm sure with this stat I'm going to give you, they have won the most. But they have not scored less than 3 goals at home since December. Less than 3 goals per game. So you're not about to tell me that you're about to go over there and try to attack. Be smart, man. I'm telling you. Be smart. Be pragmatic.
Well, surely your own logic is telling you that you're wasting your time going trying to defend.
How?
What do you want to do? Just keep the score down to 2?
Under what?
So you don't want to
Under 2.
defend against them. You don't want to have some sort of defensive strategy against them.
We've got the
You,
defense.
you just want to allow them to come on to her.
But the problem
I
is
say
they have
you've
fast
got-
players.
We have to put our emphasis on attack, is what I'm saying.
But Win, no matter how you want to look at
Because
football.
we aren't going to keep a clean sheet.
Listen, Win, no matter how you want to look at football, the fact of the matter is Barcelona has thinkers. And when you have thinkers of the game, more than likely you're going to win this game. They can think in the ball most faster than any man. They're going to split you open in a couple of passes if you are attacking and you leave yourself wide open with Byrne and even Botman, who's not the quickest. But that's not going to be good, man. If you put Trippier there, he doesn't have the same pace anymore. We've seen it. We've seen him against Man City, I believe, against no, it wasn't Marmouche on the left. Whoever was on the left that was just drilling them. And even as well, there's another one that where you disagree with me, Win, but I can't remember now. But you know, so you just don't want to do that. I do not want to do that. I think you're going to have to pick your poison.
I don't think
neither
Barca will attack down the left either. But after Lewis Hall's performance, I don't think they'll go down that way.
Yeah, but
Like
Lewis
with
Hall is
Lamar.
going to be on. No, I thought you talk about on the right for them.
Yeah.
Because but that's another, I think, miscalculation there, Sean, because they're going to know what Lewis Hall is capable of, clearly. But Lamine Yamal is not going to say, don't pass me the ball because I'm scared of Lewis Hall.
No.
That's never going to happen. So he's going to look for it.
Yeah, I
You know,
agree.
he's going to look for a chance to win this game. Yeah, so go on, sorry.
We just got to get
Champions
stuck into
League.
them. That's it. We just got to get into them.
I think that what Sean is saying is the game plan. Literally, it has to be
We've got to get the balance right at defence. The
a crap
defence got
house
to be balanced.
Yeah.
And
It
your
has to
midfield's gotta
be
control.
killing time. It has to be killing time, going down. It has to be that game.
Dog arts.
You have to.
Time
But from
waster.
minute one, you have to, because that if you're trying to play football, Win, nobody plays football better than them. It's that simple. It's that simple. You have to chop it up. You have to say, we're not playing football tonight. We're playing rugby. So it's that easy. It's that simple. Be smart about it, but it's that simple. If you're trying to play football, Win, I'm telling you, man, we are going to be knackered.
I'm not
I don't
Take our
want to.
time on
I'm
throw-ins.
saying
Take time on the
press.
throw-ins. Take our time at the corners. Slow it down like we did against Arsenal because they didn't like that.
And make
Rattle,
it
rattle,
deliberate.
Yeah.
Make it deliberate so it gets them annoyed.
The dark arts have to come back for this game. We have to use the dark arts. You know, give away little needless free kicks in their half. Different kind of daft. You're not going to get a yellow card. But, you know, if you need to leave a little shoulder in or you leave a little foot in, you know, do that sort of thing against them. Make them absolutely hate us. And, you know, the manager come out after the game and say, they're a terrible team to play. That's
You
what
gotta
we
be
need in this game.
Well, no, that's exactly what you need. You need Burn has a couple of needles in his tucked in his underwear, poking around the corners. Got to poke their butts, you know. So that that's the way you got to do. You got to go back, gone back to Leeds style, baby. Dirty Leeds. Back in the 70s, we were having some needles. We're having some, you know, some. You get a little lemon. You squirt lemon in the corner, squirt them in the eyes. You got to do everything. With VAR, you can't get away from many things.
By
now,
the way,
so
you know, we're forgetting that we've played them twice this season already, albeit at home. And for the first 25 minutes at St. James's Park, we had them on the rack. And we should have beat them again when we played them a fortnight ago.
See, I think...
Well, maybe don't want to go down that route when we look at the results.
Yeah, when we played Barca at home our last game, I think a lot of heads switched off. A lot of people didn't know what to do. Like with Dan Burn, he was hesitant to go up, go back, and Eddie Howe was like, get in the box, get in the box. I think there was a lot of switch off happened. But I'm going to say, I think we'll beat Barca tomorrow. I think we'll beat Atletico Madrid and come against Arsenal. In the same I'm going to go.
Wowza.
Well, no, Arsenal wouldn't be. Who else is going to be in the final then?
Well, no, we'll get Arsenal in the
that's
semi-final.
the semi.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that would be the semi.
Arsenal
So
in
who
the semi. And presumably Real Madrid in the final.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's a good, the way it's went, I think it's helped. We've got a good run to get.
Wouldn't that be fantastic? You know, the last trophy we won, we beat the top 4 teams in the Premier League. Wouldn't it be fantastic to win the Champions League and beat the top 3 teams in La Liga?
Yeah, absolutely.
There you go.
And we've beat Arsenal. And we can do it again.
I mean,
that
was shambolic.
The plan has to work.
Man. Yeah, no, I agree. I mean,
Get
listen,
into that
that's why
phases.
it has to be
Get
it's just plain simple. It has to be a perfect game because you got to play dark arts. You got to do all of that, but then you got to score as well, at least one goal. So that's going to be the biggest hurdle. How do you score one goal?
You've got to be ready to get into the space that they leave because they'll play with a very high line, which plays into our hands, actually. I mean, you wouldn't be surprised for Ramsdale to be kicking it out of his hands for Gordon to run onto it, put it in the net with it just bouncing once. I mean, you know, there's a load of space that they'll press up, try and win it back in our half so that they attack.
I think one thing we can all agree on for the rest of this.
They can find the ball through. So Hall, have you seen Lewis Hall's little reel of what he was doing in that game against Barcelona? He had a Sula through 3 or 4 times in the first half because he can beat a man and play a pass. Ramsey can do that as well. So can Tonali. So that I think I get what you're saying, Chris. We need to be super secure at the back, not have everybody piling forward. We don't want to see Botman dispossessed on the edge of their box and then
or Burn.
Goal. But I think we can, I think we can do that and still have all of their half to run into when we're on the attack. So we need to be really, really clinical when we do get those chances. And I think we've got a better chance of doing that if Gordon's playing centre forward than if Asula's playing centre forward, because Asula was through 2 or 3 times in that first game. I fancy us. I do. As long as we've got the defensive hat on that we had when we played Chelsea, I quite fancy us to get a few goals because, Barcelona scored 5 on Sunday, but they conceded 2.
Would you say it's going to be high? Would you say it's going to be a high flowing, like a lot of goals?
I think what we need from this game,
It'll
Chris, is
have to be if they score 3, we've got to score 4, so it'll have to be.
Yeah. I think what we need to do now, though, is just play our best team. For the rest of this season now, doesn't matter what happens, we'll just put the best players that we've got available on the pitch. Because, you know, we need to save this season and we need to have our best team out there every game. We've only got, 10, 11, 12, 13 games maximum left. Let's treat every one of them as a cup final and go out there with the best squad, the best team we've got, and absolutely start to try to smash teams. You know, let's not worry about other teams. If we've got our best players out there, then we should be able to manage it. As Ian said, we've got quite an easy run in. We should be able to manage quite a lot of these games quite easily.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point. Tell you what, let's go with some. Go on, finish. Go ahead, mate. Say what you need to say, Ian.
What I was going to say was, I mean, I was stunned when I did my predictions and got us finishing 4th.
You were like,
I mean,
how rubbish I was.
Sixth would be good because we could pick up the Europa League next year and qualify for the Champions League that way. I don't mind that. But 4th or 5th gets us into the Champions League. And the reason that we got that is because Liverpool, Chelsea, Aston Villa, even Manchester City at the minute, I mean, they are too far ahead. But those other 3, they've got each other to play. And they keep throwing stupid points away. Look at Liverpool drawn with bloody Spurs. Villa can't buy themselves a win. I think those top, the what is it? It's 4th, 5th, and 6th. They're all wobbling. And then you've got Everton and Brentford ahead of us, both of whom, Brentford got a draw at home against the Wolves last night and Everton lost. I think it's there. If we can put a run, if we can win 7 of these last 8 games, let's say, and we should, because the teams we're playing and where we're playing them, make them very winnable games. I think it's on. I do. I think we're on for 4th or 5th. But I'm a happy clapper bookie, so you know, we'll see, won't we? I've backed it with some hard cash.
I want you to be right 100%, mate. 100%.
Well, we'll see. We shall see.
Bulky,
but I'm very. You see, the other thing after the international break, Bruno comes back. Miley presumably has had enough weeks off for him to come back. We do get our best players back. To play Palace and Bournemouth and Brighton and teams that we have a habit of beating these teams. I know Bournemouth we don't, but they're not up to much. It's all 4 in a row. I think we should beat them. But the thing is, it's
Super
there
chat.
for us to take if we can build up some momentum. Fire away.
Mm-hmm. Super chat there, Boki in the sky with diamonds, methinks.
Boki in the sky with diamonds.
Thank you.
Should be Lucy.
You know what that you do know what that song's all about, don't you?
Got absolutely no idea, mate.
No, man.
I'm guessing. I think I am guessing what it is about now. I think about it.
Let me go with the chat. Lee says, "What's the point in being in the Champions League if we rather win the Mackhams against the Mackhams than getting into quarterfinal? Embarrassing."
Completely agree, Lee.
By the way, Lee asked, if Michael and Kevin are still on the channel. Of course, they're on the channel. Matter of fact, that is disgraceful from you, Lee, because that means you don't watch the live match coverage on this channel because Michael is on there all the time. So I encourage you to come on match day to enjoy the live match commentary that we do. And tomorrow we'll be live 2 hours and a half before kickoff with the twins doing the build-up. And, of course, the live match commentary with Gary and Michael. And tomorrow Win will be there as well. And, listen, I might jump on as well because this is, I'll be here. But it's going to be a very, very important game. And Kevin, he... Go on, sorry, mate.
Michael and I will also be on at 8:45 doing the player ratings show live.
The player ratings.
So Michael's got a long shift tomorrow.
Michael's got a long shift. And Lee, you got to become a member, man. Support the channel. You're a fan of the channel now. You got to support the channel because that way you get to enjoy the Jordy Bias Prem show as well with Michael. So Michael's all over the place. You just got to look for him. Michael's all over the place. And Kevin, he's got, some personal stuff doing with work, and then he'll be back when he gets free time. So everybody's here, man. Everybody's here. Don't worry. Christina Cage.
Just quickly, Ian, I need to do the scores with you one time to keep you right. He's a
not
way
good.
too positive for me.
Yeah, there you go. No doubt. Yeah, man. Look, too many positives.
Michael,
man.
though, come and do it on tomorrow night.
Too many positives.
Why not?
Way too many
go.
positives.
We had we had all of the members on commenting as well. They decided what the final scores were for the Chelsea game.
Yeah. Christina, it will hurt less if we win the Champions League, though. Well, I mean, come on, man. But I'd say you're talking about the Champions League, the whole tournament. Yeah, I think it would hurt less if we win the Champions League and lose against the Mackhams. But I did say on Sunday on the weekly roundup live every Sunday at 5:30 on YouTube's, and that Sunderland doing the double over us would hurt. There you go, and you can enjoy the final shout, the weekly roundup with Boki and Christina on a weekly basis. And this time it's going to be on Saturday, I think, regular like 8 p.m. or something.
I think
because obviously
the Sunderland game, aren't we?
Yeah, because obviously the Mackhams are coming to the Toon on Sunday. RG Fox there, Niue beat Barca, get beat off them, laughing. So there you go. See the contradicting opinions there. World Captain Bruno Boki, you ask people to choose. I don't want to get beat by the Mackhams, obviously, but I don't give a flying one what they say or think. Is we beat Barca tomorrow, that's what's going to mean more, in my opinion. There you go.
Yeah, good point. You're right, actually. I've changed. If we lose to Sunderland, it's a bit like jamming your finger in the door. It's sore, but wave it off.
Yeah.
But if you beat Barcelona to get into the quarterfinals, you've got something to talk to Sunderland fans about for at least the next 12 months.
People who say they rather...
I'm just saying, if you're bumming the Sunderland fans and that's we did the double away, said, yeah. When was the last time you were in the quarterfinal of the Champions League again? I rest my case, Milner. See who's got the biggest smile on their face when they finish saying what they've got to say.
They won't beat us anyway. They are really terrible. They were terrible when they beat us the last time, but they're much worse now.
And apparently Ballard is doubtful.
I do need a penalty
against us.
I hear Windsor had some cheesy chips and ballies before.
Hey man,
I don't know why, but
I gotta get to the comments. I agree with Irish. I need a pen on mute button when I'm reading to the comments. Lee says people who say they rather win against the Mackhams than the quarterfinals of the Champions League need to sort their heads out. There you go. Battle Axe. It's more of a tall order getting anything that benefits us in Champions League unless we win it. I'd rather beat the Mackhams for 3 points to get closer to Champions League next year, possibly.
To get
Tenji
closer
Vivid.
to Champions League so that you're in it. We're already in it.
Tenji Vivid, I'd rather we win both in each and every game until the end of the season. How about that? There you go. Gibbo there. The size of the pitch suits us going forward. Too much with so much room to attack. The opposite forward defense, low block. There you go.
The pitch is all right. Identical sizes.
Battle Axe, if we don't get Champions League, players will go and no top players will want to come. So we would be out of Champions League for a good couple of seasons, especially if Eddie stays. Oh, dang. There you go.
Just to answer that question, by the way, when we had just avoided relegation, that was when we're saying Bruno Gomares. That was when we're saying Kieran Trippier. That was when we're saying Dan Burn. So this business about players not when they come. Before the start of the next season, we're saying Livermento.
hang on. You're the one that argues about players not wanting to come, and then you use that as I give up.
But he used Dan Burn as he chose Newcastle without Champions League. Are you what? He would have came if we were in League One. He could have been. He could have came. That doesn't matter. Burn would have came to Newcastle in relegation.
Already left us when we had no Europe.
We're talking about,
and we had just avoided relegation.
We're talking about proper footballers who are going to make our team an elite team. they're not coming unless we got Champions League. That's the bottom line. You want to talk about Bern coming and choosing? You want to talk about Bern choosing Newcastle with no Champions League? If that's enough for you to say that other players would just choose us no matter what, then that's fine. It's your personal way of thinking. But that's because Bern would have joined us if we were in League One. So that's irrelevant. Trippier, on the other hand, I can have you on that. But it was a fresh project, new takeover, maybe a lot of promises at the time.
Bruno had been in the Champions League semi-final the year before.
Man, get out of it. Champions League semi-final with Lyon. Somebody fact check that. Lyon ain't making it to no semi. Oh, we missed a super chat there. Okay. Yeah, I think so. RG Fox there. Gents, can I have scores for tomorrow, please? Thank you very much, RG. I'm going to say... I'm just going to say... I don't know what I'm going to say. Go on. Somebody.
I'll go 2-1.
2-1 who?
To Newcastle.
I'll go 2-2 with Wissa scoring the winning penalty in extra time.
I always go 3-1 Newcastle, whether we're home or away, whoever we're playing. I'll stick with that.
I'm going to say 1-0 Newcastle. That's
wins fell asleep. Scoring. That's what my heart says. But my gut says we'll not stop them scoring. So I'm saying 1-1 after 90 minutes. And then we'll see what happens.
Last comment here from Travoy. That's how our better recruitment are. We can make deals before window, but small mentality. Also, we need to get away from signing overpriced and overrated Prem League proven.
Yada, yada, yada. And by the way, we have got no idea what's going on right now behind the scenes in terms of who we're lining up deals for in the summer. We could be doing all of that.
Thank you very much, all of you out there. Don't forget to subscribe. We will see you tomorrow live on match day. Newcastle United away at Barcelona. See you later, folks. Take care. Smash the like button on your way out. Come on. And thank you to all the super chatters. Thank you, Waza. Thank you, RG. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.